different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings,
Yeah.
shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager. Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. It's the call-in show. Sunday night, 3 hours of calls. We want to hear from you and what's going on in your world, what's going on at work, what's making you mad, or what's interesting. We want to know about the actions that you're involved with, or the local small business tyrant that's pissing you off. We're Street Fight Radio. The number to dial is 614-655-3887 to talk to us. We're the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We've been doing this now for 10 years, and it's getting better every year, and the call-in show is one of the highlights of my week. I love to hear from all y'all, so please let us know what's up in your world. If you want to support the show, head to store.streetfightradio.com where you can buy pins, patches, and t-shirts. Right now we're wrapping up the Bat t-shirt and the Freaky Friday t-shirt. It looks like some sort of ne'er-do-well on a white t-shirt. CM Ruiz is the artist. Store.streetfightradio.com. We're raising money for Para Los Niños. Get those shirts now. You won't be able to, and then once I post pictures of them, you're going to be like, I wish I got it, and then, you're going to wish you did, so take care of it today. Store.streetfightradio.com. And you can hear more of what we do at patreon.com/streetfightradio if you want to donate to the show and keep this thing going and get more anti-advertisements and less sponsored ads. I did a TikTok today for that Hustle matcha drink, and boy, was it fucking awful.
Yeah, not good?
I was really surprised at how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, Billie Eilish said she liked it.
Yeah, I mean, if you get paid enough, you can like anything.
Diplo's into it.
Yeah, I would be too if I got paid to say I liked it.
Yeah?
Or maybe if they sent them to me all the time, I would just drink it because it's cheaper than paying
Water?
for something. Yeah.
Cheaper than water. Because water can be expensive if you've ever had a water bill. It's like $40 a month.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
always
incredible.
trying to get my money's worth out of my water, so I drink a lot of it and then let it run a little bit too. You know,
Sure.
put my mouth under the thing. You know.
Yep.
I want that $40 all in my tummy. Hydration.
Yeah.
Baby.
Makes sense.
Man, I'm carrying snacks everywhere now. I'm a snack guy that just
great.
has nuts and bananas on me.
You're fully converted.
Oh, hey,
You're
look who
everything
has
you hate.
Look who's eating a banana again for the third time today. Not yet. No, I haven't done 3 bananas. I had an apple earlier, some grapes, and now I'm a nuts and banana for tonight's show. I figured, you know, sometime during the show I might get hungry. I should have a banana available to eat.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got to have that center console. Sorry. You got to have that center console filled with trail mix. So that way, anytime you're like, maybe I'll stop at McDonald's, and then you just take a huge handful of trail mix, shove it down your throat, and you're like, oh, I don't need McDonald's.
Yeah. I mean, I have been good about not eating bad for the past 7 days. We're 7 days in. I ate bad one day. I also don't think I hit my calorie count when I ate bad. I don't think I went over.
Yeah.
I just think I ate bad, and it punished me.
So you didn't eat bad, though. I mean, it's not bad.
I mean, half a medium pizza is bad.
No, it's not. It's completely normal. We all love it. You can't say that it's bad because we all think it's so fucking good.
I'm never eating pizza again.
Oh, you sound like me. What is going on? What is going on?
It just made my tummy hurt so bad, man. I was like, I'll never eat pizza again. Now, I will eat pizza Friday. Probably sometime this week, I'll be like, let's just get a fucking pizza, man. But as of right now, I've decided I'm never eating pizza again.
Fuck, I love it.
Then
it's working.
Now
it's working.
Now I'm scared to eat a cheeseburger because I never want to be saying I don't want to ever eat a cheeseburger again. I'd admit defeat at that point. I'd be like, well, what am I going to eat? Greens?
Make a hamburger and cut it in half and share it with Katie.
She doesn't eat a hamburger.
Oh, that sucks. Well, find a friend to share a hamburger with.
Like salads now? I'm going to get into salads? I am into salads right now.
Yeah, that dressing is the best.
Yeah, I'm into salad dressing. You're right, Brad. I'm into salad dressing. The rest of the stuff is just like, well, at least there's some dressing on it.
No, it's neat though that like all that like bland food can taste like golden Italian dressing.
Yeah. Or like
what is the golden stuff? Do you know what the golden is? Is it just like extra what?
It's vinegar, oil, and I guess
Yeah.
if you mix those two together with some spices, you get a golden salad dressing. I do love Italian dressing, though. It's so fucking good, man. It makes me nuts how much I love that stuff. You put 2 tables. The thing that sucks about the way I'm eating now, only 2 tablespoons. When I really like to get a good full squirt of that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You squeeze bottle, you're just like, like all the way down. And it's like, well, this is like cereal almost.
Yeah,
This
you
is
like
more like
tip the bowl at the end and drink the leftover dressing.
Yeah. And
Blue cheese rolling down the side of the bowl.
Also, just a huge fan of croutons.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you need to just not... Be careful with the croutons, B-man, is what I tell myself.
You got to make the rule: croutons only with lettuce. You can't open up the bag of croutons and just start eating them.
Yeah,
because that's easy to do.
No, I figured out the snacking thing is nuts. It's just like, I'll just eat more nuts. It's like, you know what? Somebody's going to be like, hey, you can't eat nuts all day.
Sure.
But I'm going to tell them
than...
like, hey, man, you know, should I eat 12 Reese's eggs in a day?
Yeah.
So let's just stick with the nuts, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was the other weird thing is, like, Katie was, like, going through the cabinet, like, Friday for snacks. And was like, oh, we have all these gummy worms. And I was like, I know, because I'm off the candy. I'm off the candy right now.
Yeah.
I haven't been off candy in over a year. I'm just like, fuck candy. I don't need that shit.
Yeah. You got to not keep it in the home. I like to use it. It's like if I'm out and we're having fun, I like to get candy. Can't keep it in the house, though.
Yeah.
It's got to be a one-time thing, and then you're done with it.
I mean, grapes is basically candy, though.
That's also the other thing, too. Yeah, it does switch to the point where if you don't go for candy, the fruit actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah. I've been into grapes all week, man. It's like, Yeah, they're not jelly bean. They're not like sweet tart jelly beans or like gummy worms or anything, but they're grapes. And like we have a whole setup now where it's like we come into the house and Katie or I takes all the grapes off the vine and puts them in a thing so that all you have to do is reach in and you grab some grapes and you eat them. So it's really just like candy. Because that's the thing I like about candy is like I don't have anything extraneous left over.
It's not branches.
Yeah. Because this is what I hate about like even bananas. It's like I'm going to eat this banana tonight and then I'm going to have a banana peel. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Come on.
Oh, you can just throw that anywhere.
On the ground, like while I'm driving, just throw it out the window. Yeah. Yeah. And then the car slips and you know the whole thing.
Yeah. That happened to the O'Doyles.
And Mr. Bean steps on it and falls over, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been snacking. I've been trying to like snack more through the day. So like and then like I also discovered that I really like cashews. Like, which I didn't even know I liked. I don't know if I even ever had a cashew before last week. Probably not. No, why would I eat a cashew? I eat a Snickers bar. A Reese cup. You know, I just didn't ever care about nuts. It's like beans. You know, beans are all popular these days, you know?
Sure.
Up until like the past 2 years, man, I was just like, I don't need beans. You know, what are beans? Who needs them? And then I learned like, oh, you know, they're good for you, I guess. So eat more beans, you know? And then I started eating beans and then I convinced myself I like beans. And that's how things happen with me.
It's great.
It's like, who needs this? Who needs greens?
When I was a kid, my dad, he would buy a tin of whole cashews for himself because they were more expensive. And we would have to like sneak to get those. We weren't allowed to have the whole cashews. We got pieces. We got motherfucking pieces, which is just basically like salt. There's just salt and powder.
That's how I got all into Diet Pop. Because my stepmom would always have a bunch of Diet Pop, and she'd be like, don't touch my Diet Pop. And then, of course, it'd be like, I'm going to steal that diet. Especially because they would buy us like 8 12-packs of like generic, and then her 1 12-pack of like Diet Pepsi. And I'm like, well, I'd rather have the Pepsi. You know, I trust the Pepsi Corporation over this other like cheap generic company, you know?
Yeah.
I trust the brand of PepsiCo America, okay? But, yeah, man, I've been pretty good. I mean, you know, it's been a lot of, like, chia seeds and peanuts and apples and...
Well, you can always expand it.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm done with other food now. All the bad foods, I'm done with it.
You got to be able to pivot, because here's the thing. You get tired of this shit. Like, oatmeal is great. You're like, oh my God, I hacked my whole life. And then, like, 21 days into oatmeal every day, you're like, fuck this. Fuck oatmeal. Fuck it. I'm not going to eat this. And then you end up off the rails.
Yeah.
You have to have some pivot meals for when you get tired of this shit.
I probably should, yeah. But I'm just, at this point, I'm just like, I'm off everything.
You're doing good so far.
I'll never eat anything unhealthy again.
Yeah, that's not good talk. That's not a great way to think.
It's like every day for the rest of my life, I'll just eat for fuel and nutrition now.
Yeah, that's what a fool would say. That's what you mean, right?
No. That's what I think. You know, no more cheeseburgers, no more French fries, no more pizzas. That's it, though, you know. And then, like, when it comes Friday night, when I usually am like really Friday and Saturday, when I'm like really ready to fucking go nuts on the food, I eat some Doritos or some pizza rolls or something. I'm so off it now. Wheat Thins, just been eating Wheat Thins, ranch Wheat Thins. So it's like Doritos, but it's Wheat Thins, you know?
Yeah, sure.
That's me. That's the new Brian.
Wow, you came out of COVID a new person.
No.
New identity.
We'll see. Like I said, obviously I like to make bold proclamations and then not follow through on them. It's a big thing for me that I know that I do. But as of right now, it's just like I had pizza the other night. It made my stomach hurt really fucking bad. And I haven't had an anxiety attack in 6 days. And I'm just like, I'm going to stick to this, I think. I think if it's working, I got to do it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that is a big motivator for sure.
I haven't almost cried in a week.
We're switching places.
Yeah.
Because I'm close to the verge of tears like all day long now, sporadically.
Yeah. Over the past week, I've been like, I don't know. I've noticed I haven't been thinking about anxiety and stuff like that. And like,
well,
haven't had freakouts. You know, I'm doing great.
This Friday, I signed my lease, and last night I slept at my new apartment by myself with no fucking internet, on the mattress on the floor. Just the worst situation. And throughout the day today, I just kept going.
I've been there, buddy. That's anxiety.
It's just rising. And there's so many moments I've had where I just imagine myself like throwing myself on the ground and screaming and yelling and like kicking and throwing a fucking tantrum. Like I was at the grocery store and I was like, I don't want to pick. I don't know what I want. I don't want to be here. And I just imagine taking a whole shelf and just knocking it over and just stomping shit and just breaking a window and running out. Like I was so close to panic. And I've just been pushing it down. But I'm going to fucking break at some point. It's a fucking lot. I mean, a month ago, I did not think that I'm just going to be listening to the guy beneath me snore all night long. I never thought that was going to be happening in the month of April. I did not see that coming.
We got to get you a box fan, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we got to get the internet over there.
Right.
Number three, I don't know what else to do. Eat right. Here's the thing I've learned recently. If you eat nutritiously and right...
Oh, God.
All of it goes away, bro.
This panics wouldn't be happening if you had some seeds in your pocket.
If you ate if you just grabbed some nuts out of your pocket and a banana and ate it, it would all go away, you know?
No, it actually has been really good. There's been moments of just like, I felt so light that if I jumped, I would fucking fly away.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, it was 1 PM and I was like, I could drive to Cleveland, buy a milkshake, and drive back. And go do the show, and nobody can say anything. No one would bother me. No one would know. I could do whatever the fuck I want.
You go to Michigan and buy weed if you wanted.
I don't even do that, but
you could.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's been it's been a lot. Oh, that is funny though.
He did sleep at my house the first night he signed his lease.
Yeah,
Brett signed his lease and then fell asleep in my house.
I was that was a very exhausting day.
Yeah.
We were watching that movie, and then I was just like, I'm falling asleep. And then all of a sudden, Katie was like laying a blanket out and putting it on top of me. And I was like, I'm in bed, actually. Now I'm in bed.
Yeah. It's a good couch to sleep on. I mean,
it's a great couch for sleeping.
It's a cold house, but a good couch.
Yeah. I did, my mom, when I did tell her, and I brought some of my homemade cookies that make people feel great over to share with my family. She was like, how do you make money? She was like, is it from selling cookies? And I was like, no, I'm not like a drug dealer. I just look like a drug dealer. I'm like always on drugs and act like a drug dealer, but I'm not. I actually do make money from the show.
How do you make money?
And then she was like, so you just like do it so you can smoke for free? And I was like, okay, OG, what do you know about smoke for free? What do you know about the smoke for free system?
Yeah. That is a good system, though.
Yeah, it's a great system.
It's worked for many people who like to get high over many decades.
Don't have extra money. Yeah, being broke also, I'm halfway through the month and like counting every dollar, which is something I'm not very used to, which probably is why the panic is building inside of me. But I went to a bargain outlet store and bought a bunch of Power Rangers figures I'm going to resell on eBay. So I'm like back to flipping shit again and cookies, and yeah, it's me again. Also, I'm driving a Toyota Prius, which the last time I was single, I had a 93 Toyota Corolla.
I remember that car. Black car.
Blaring death metal with this tiny little car, just weaving in and out of traffic. I feel like I'm 27 years old again.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you're doing great.
Yeah. It's ups and downs. Lots of it is really fucking awesome, but then there's moments where it's just like, there's no one in here. There's no one in here with me. There's no one I can say, like, there's no one I can just, like, there's no one to just grab real quick and say, look at this funny thing, or I want to tell you a story about the store earlier today, you know?
Yeah. I mean, your money will get right over the next, like, couple months.
Yeah.
That's not going to be, like,
no, I'm just way overextended right now.
Oh, I know. I know the feeling, man. I'm kind of overextended right now. Yeah, I just got a check on Friday. Like, this is the first time I've been like this in a while. I just got a check on Friday that I wasn't expecting, and I mobile deposited it, and I check my bank account every 15 minutes saying, like, where's that fucking check at? Where the fuck is that fucking check? And it's not there yet, and I'm just going nuts about it. Now I'm like, did the check get lost in the internet? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
So,
that check was great.
That check made me as happy as anything's ever made me.
I went to Odd Lots, Goodwill, Ohio Thrift, and Ollie's today, and TJ Maxx, and was able to get a lot of stuff to make me panic less, so I can cook food and have something of a normal household now.
Yeah. Cook some food. And you'll have Charlotte at some point.
Yeah, that'll
which
help.
I think will be like the biggest help for you, because it's like, well, I'm not like 27. I do have a daughter that I take care of.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm still accountable. I can't like be completely reckless.
Yeah.
Well, that was even like when I was talking about it, and you said you were like, how am I going to tell somebody about cocaine? And I'm like, that's not really wasn't at the top of my mind at all. Like, that's not a big part of my life, and not what I'm planning for the future, you know. Kind of see what happens to 40-year-olds that have a cocaine problem.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not a regular thing for me.
No.
But you mentioned it, and I just wanted to clear that up, because there are people that know us that listen to the show, and people did message me about that.
Cocaine?
Yeah, like if I have a problem or something, it's like, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what makes the show run. I just don't say no when I'm on tour.
Yeah.
That's the extent.
He's not a no-sayer on tour. But at home, I don't think you've done cocaine since tour's over. Don't fucking contradict me.
Stop being a fed. Just stop. You don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just not something to...
He's off the cocaine. Just like I'm off the pizza and the hamburgers and the candy. He's off the cocaine.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like I have been using less weed too. That might be part of it. But I feel like I will have less use for that. Although on Friday night, when we went and got the fucking separation actually notarized and filed the paperwork, I took a whole fucking hit of acid and listened to music for 6 hours straight.
That was a bad idea.
It was the best.
Okay.
It was so transformative. Like, for the first part of it, I was listening to Townes Van Zandt and like Guy Clark and like all these miserable ass people. And then I was just like, you're being ridiculous. There's, you know, you don't want to be back in that relationship. If you right now could be back in the relationship, you wouldn't take it. So you have to feel better. So then I started listening to like Jasmine Sullivan and like Mary J. Blige and Ari Lennox, and was just like feeling way better. And it was awesome. It was a good time.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the other thing is, you also mentioned about starting a relationship and introducing them to you. That's another thought, is that I don't plan to have a relationship at all, like ever again in my life. That's where I'm at. I don't want to be concerned with another person at all. Me and Eric used to argue about this all the time, because I would say I have unconditional love for humanity. Like, even the worst people, I feel bad for them. I feel like the Jesus thing, like, Father, please forgive them because they know that what they do. My love for humanity is unconditional. Romantic love is fucking conditional. And there's rules and there's expectations and there's all this stuff. So, you know, I'm never going to be able to love a partner the way I could love a stranger. You know, I expect better of a partner than I do a stranger. I have all the forgiveness in the world for a stranger, but the person I'm with, you have to get it together.
Well, you know, I'm off pizza, so
okay.
I know where you're at too. We're both in the same space. I'm never gonna eat pizza again.
Shot Gaming said no relationships for Brett, no pizza for Brian.
Yeah.
Mark the date.
I'll never. Yep, it works if you work it, guys. You know. Make a big calendar of the last time I had pizza, and flip it on Thursday, probably. Actually, you know, before we get to our first call, is our first call on there?
I don't think so.
You gotta look.
I know I do.
I know. I was just checking.
I'm a checker.
Before we get to the first call, I'm getting my second shot tomorrow.
Woo-wee.
I'm getting my Jabarino tomorrow. Getting it. And everybody in my house is preparing for disaster, but in classic Brian from Street Fight way, I've decided nothing's going to happen to me.
Smart. This is one time your mentality is helpful.
I have decided
the stubbornness is great for this.
I have decided, because they said like, oh, I'm hydrating. I'm like, I am hydrating today. I'm drinking a little more than I usually do. But they were like, I'm seeing everybody's getting this bad side effects, off that second shot. And I went like this. I was like, you're not seeing the people that didn't? You know what I mean?
All the brave, silent folks. All the stoic, strong people that don't get affected. They don't have to post. They don't want to brag.
And that's me. I'm stoic. I'm strong.
I found someone's Pfizer post about their second dose. It was like 34 comments deep, and everyone was complaining. I was like, "You're a fucking wimp. You're a fucking lousy. You fucking have a bad attitude. I'm not gonna get taken down by that fucking second shot."
Yeah,
the first one felt like nothing.
I know. That's how I felt too. Just my arm was a little bit sore the next day. But like these people talking about like, Gwen's teachers told them they felt like they were tripping, and it's like that's not happening to me.
Yeah. I mean, I will actually be tripping when like I get the shot, so that's not going to throw me off.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen to me, man. I'm going to feel fucking great. The next day, maybe the day after I get the shot is going to be, the day that proves it. But like maybe I'll do a little quick. Actually, I will be streaming that night.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock.
So you have to prove it.
9.
420.
So I'm 420. Me and John are doing a stream for the POD cast, and I will be on camera. And I was talking to John about it, and he was like, "I think you'll be okay." And I was like, "I gotta tell you the truth, man. Even if I'm not okay, it'll be a good anti-vax public service announcement."
Yeah.
Doing really bad, it'll be like, "Hey, look, this is what it does to you. I don't fucking know. I'm not making any comments. I went and got it."
Yeah. I'll report in too. I'll have to do a mandatory check. I get
When's yours?
The 26th.
Oh, next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole family's going to be done on Thursday.
Okay.
So Gwen probably will not go to school Friday.
Smart.
Even just,
Smart.
She might not have any side effects.
No.
But she also, will just be like, she tried Friday. I think you were over at the house when we talked about it. She tried Friday. She said no school today to Katie. And Katie was like, I didn't get the email or anything. I didn't see it. And she was like, oh, no, I was just saying I didn't want to go to school. Oh. Like, I think she was trying, if she said no school today, if Katie would be like, oh, okay, no school.
Right.
Right. And that was not the case. She was just, that kid never wants to go to school.
Good try. Katie's better at games, though. Katie's way better at games.
That kid. Here's something that drives me nuts. Before we get to this call, the first call, something that drives me nuts. Every Sunday, before I come and do this show, earlier in the day, my daughter will say, I have to read 50 pages of The Kite Runner. Okay? And all I hear about all day is, I gotta read 40 pages. I gotta read 30 pages. Only 15 pages left. And I'm like, did your teacher call you yesterday and tell you that you have to read 50 pages of a book? Or did she give you like a week? She was like, well, the last time she gave us 2 weeks. This time she only gave us 6 days. And I was like, 50 pages, 6 days. I mean, look, I'm not a big plan ahead guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't think that I'm some kind of guy that's going to run around and tell you, oh, prepare, plan ahead. Because I hate doing it. It's the worst thing in the fucking world. But 10 pages a day seems much better than spending your entire Sunday reading The Kite Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
It just drives me fucking crazy. Now, I know why parents go crazy about that shit.
Yeah, kids suck.
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on, man.
Charlotte has to do 20 minutes of iReady. She will play 45 minutes of Roblox. And I'll be like, all right, get it together. You got to do 20 minutes of iReady. She'll do 4 minutes. She'll be like, Dad, it says 04. How many's left? I'm like, 16 minutes. Dad, it says 08. How many is left? 12 minutes. It's 20. 2-0. It's 2-0 every single Monday. It's 2-0.
Yeah, and you just want to be like, dude. I mean, with Gwen, it's like, when you're in high school, it's like college. They give you your work at the beginning of the week, and you fucking know what's coming. Don't ruin your Sunday every week. And I think she convinces herself that she's going to do some on Friday and some on Saturday. You know what I mean? Where she's like, yeah, I'll just do some on Saturday, and then I'll do like half Saturday and half Sunday. It's like, you're not going to do none Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she's reading a book, though. I got to tell you, like, that is something that I'm really impressed with, that because I know that kid loves to do like a book on. She'll buy a book on. She'll buy an audio book.
Yeah.
Or she's a Cliff Notes kid from way back. She's always been that way. And people are like, oh, why don't you make her do it? And I'm like, I don't know how you make somebody read. I have no fucking clue.
You got to pinch the back of their head in the right way to like get their optic nerve to start firing.
Move their lips with your hand or something. It's like, I've said before, it's like, I can't make her read. And I feel like she hates reading so fucking much that if I did say sit down and look at the book in front of me, she would just not read it. She would just open the book and look at the page and not read it and just not even do anything. She would just, her mind would blank and she would just stare at a fucking piece of paper.
Yeah.
I just feel like kids hate reading. And teachers make kids read the most depressing shit. It's like every book she comes home with is like, this is a harrowing tale about like the Holocaust or Afghanistan or something like that. It's like, hey, do you want to instill like something into kids to like reading? Maybe give them not a good book. These are all good books. But maybe let them read a book that's funny or like a good goof book or like a action book or like a fucking anything else. No,
good literature's got to have that like downfall.
I was gonna say you could read Confederacy of Dunces, but a teenager would hate that.
No, they don't get that. Yeah, they're not gonna get that.
You gotta be older to like that book. You gotta be older and then have people tell you why it's funny to actually really think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
that's what I needed.
I think it'll just stick if you know it, but I don't know if I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you read when you're a kid and then you're like, oh, that was like satirical. Yeah, that's what that's called.
Catcher in the Rye was a book I really enjoyed because I read it later and a lot of people really hated it.
Right.
They were like, this fucking guy's a whiner. And then when I read it, I was like in my 30s.
Right.
And I was like, this is fucking what a teenager
This kid knows what's up.
Well, no, it was just like, this is exactly like a young person.
Right.
This is what young people sound like to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's take some calls.
All right. First call, special guest caller. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Yo.
Hey.
Darna.
How's it going? Did we pronounce your name wrong all week? Darna?
No, you're good. It's Darna.
Darna. Okay, because I thought about that since Wednesday. I've been thinking, did I say her name wrong? And is it going to be humiliating when she calls in? So...
No, dude, you got it.
I mean, it's not a hard name to read to everybody, but it was just like, what if it is? I remember I was walking today and I was like, could it be like a silent D? Could it be like Harna or Daharna?
No, definitely not. Like, honestly, though, I don't even really pronounce my name right. Like, I say Darna, but like, whatever, I'm not even going to try. I don't even really pronounce my name totally correctly. So you're good, is what I'm saying.
I'm the same way. When people spell my name wrong, when people spell Brian or put an M instead of an N in my last name, I don't correct them ever. There's been articles written about Street Fight where they spelled my name wrong that I didn't correct them.
Yeah, man.
It's uncomfortable.
Like, well, you got the gist, definitely.
So if you heard the show Wednesday... we talked a lot about Mike Rowe because he's a prick and an asshole and a dick. Yeah. Dick and prick, same thing, but I just wanted to throw both of those out there. But he was in a totally bad mood.
Something like Mike Rowe penis.
Yes, that does work. Mike Rowe penis always works.
Yeah.
But he was in a bad mood. Me and Brett have been covering Mike Rowe for probably 3 or 4 years now, I think.
Yeah, dude.
And we've never seen him mad. And we have remarked on the fact that he has never been mad.
Yeah, he seems like an impenetrable force, and you were able to draw something out of him that made him look like an asshole. Like, really was not the normal folksy sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair type, these kids these days don't know anything. He seemed really hurt.
Yeah, I was like pretty surprised he said anything. The other kind of weird thing is, like, he waited like a good week before he responded at all. So, like, after he didn't respond, I hit him up before I published the article and I was like, here's some questions. Like, why did you take money from, like, these like oil trade groups, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I like hit up his publicist, and his publicist was like, yeah, he's not commenting on this. So I was kind of like, okay, whatever. He's not going to say anything. Like, I guess I'm just going to publish this, and that's fine. And then like a full week later, he wrote this like fucking like novel,
Yeah.
like 6,000 word piece.
His
Crazy.
Facebook is like his newsletter. Like that is where he really just like shares his inner workings. So I can imagine it would take a week for him to look over it and make sure that it fit all of his style guidelines. But he still couldn't hold back from like really addressing you by name, like what, 15 times or something?
17 times.
17.
I love just like thinking about Mike Rowe sitting there writing my name over and over again. Like,
I knows your name. He sometimes in the middle of the night he gets up to get water and he just hears Darna, and it, like in the back of his mind he just hears that like the truth about him.
You also know the funny thing is, and you have to, you have to love this, is that you know for a fact that Mike Rowe paced around his house arguing with your article for probably a week, maybe only a couple days, but he argued with you in his head the whole time. And the funny thing is, like, his publicist not answering the question, maybe his publicist should have just pushed it to him and been like, hey, this piece is being written, which that's the worst. Is that the worst thing about being a journalist is like,
well, I mean, so the person who I was like emailing with works at Discovery Plus. So I guess, I don't know, maybe publicist is the wrong word, but like whatever, the production company. And they like, I mean, I assume like I sent them questions and I assumed that they asked him because he said that he didn't want to respond. So like, I assumed that he had like the full opportunity. And he said in the piece too, like, or in the whatever piece, Jesus, the Facebook post he wrote, he said like, oh, you emailed me like the night before. Like basically was like, I can't believe that you would think that I would have time for this. Like I'm so busy.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good one. That's good. That's Betty.
He had a lot of time though. He did have a lot of time to write a really long Facebook post. You know?
So can I ask, like, what started you on this journey? Like, did you watch Dirty Jobs, like, in an earlier time in your life or with your parents or something?
I watched some of Dirty Jobs. I mean, I told you this, Brian. Like, I watched it, and I was like, this is, like, dumb and funny and seems nefarious. But I've been listening to Street Fight for years, and it was definitely because of y'all that I was like, oh, like, this dude is, like, not just he's not just like a, normal, like, kind of asshole, like, media figure. He's like there's something else going on here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He like, it's cool. It's a guy that goes and works in the trenches and does dirty jobs is a cool thing. It's cool. It's a likable thing to do. But then when it heads into going on Fox News all the time and talking about like cancel culture and like you're becoming a right-wing pundit, but at the same time, like, I'm just a man that respects work. It's like, you're not, you have an agenda.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like it's funny because like his whole fucking thing with this article I wrote is like, well, like Discovery Plus told you before you even published the thing that, like, explicitly that the oil and gas industry didn't have any, like, say about the content of the show, and you still publish this misleading art, like, basically being like, I can't believe that you didn't just believe exactly what my, like, production, what the fuck, I can't believe that you didn't just believe, like, Discovery at face value. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that you would publish anything that would go against what I would say about myself. Which is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, that is funny too, because like we've never had commercials on the show because we never wanted to like have a boss. That was the whole kind of thing. And we always felt like we've had offers from people for little things like those 5G underwear and maybe even other stuff that I don't know about, because we always say we got offered 5G underwear and we seriously considered it. 5G blocking underwear. Yeah, we got offered that, and Brett was like, dude, we got offered a sponsorship with some 5G blocking underwear. Wouldn't it be funny to do live reads for it? And I was like, yes, that would fucking rule. That would be the funniest thing. And then after like 3 texts back and forth, we were both just like, well, that's still advertising. We can't do it, you know? But
wait, did you get them to send you the underwear? Did you get to
no,
try it?
That's the problem. See, with a lot of these partnership deals, what they do is they're like, we'll give you a code for 50% off the first pair. You order those, and then we'll give you a coupon code, and you'll make 10% of everybody that buys them afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I got offered.
I mean, I definitely.
We got offered to sell.
I definitely not ever take like a sponsorship deal like that. So I feel you.
You did what?
I definitely would not ever take a sponsorship deal like that, even though it would be amazing to have a 5G blocking underwear on the show.
I need to. Maybe I'll go dig in there and see if I can get the sponsorship. But we've also got offered to, like, there's people that sell slippers that look like Jordans and shit, and they do the same thing. They're like, get your first pair for $9, and then every time someone from your show buys one for $30, you'll get $5. You know?
Well, I don't want to do, and the thing is, like, the reason we don't do stuff like that is like a selfish thing, an independence thing, where it's like, well, people already pay for the show, and I don't want to not be able to make fun of the 5G blocking underwear.
I got it.
You know, like, I don't want to not be able to make fun of something. And right, maybe the oil and gas industry didn't specifically tell him what needed to be in his show, but you can bet that he isn't going to do anything that focuses on bad things that the oil and gas industry has done in the past if they're paying for his fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, this is so fucking embarrassing, but I keep thinking, I really can't believe I'm about to say this. I keep thinking about, there's that Michael Parenti lecture that is quoted in that really famous Leftover Crack song, Rock the 40 Ounce, where it's like, you know, you write what you like because they like what you write. So, like, yeah, obviously they're not going to fucking sponsor somebody who they don't agree with. Like, it doesn't mean that they literally have to tell you verbatim, like, you know, like, Mike, you should definitely say that, like, fossil fuels are like the backbone of our society. Like, they don't need to, like, obviously, because he fucking, like, he would do that anyway. Like, I'm not trying to argue that, like, they're putting words in his mouth or anything. Just, like, I mean, it does seem like it's a pretty good fucking move for them to, like, align themselves with this guy who's trying to be like, well, we couldn't have anything good without oil and gas. So yeah, like, that doesn't mean that I think they're literally going line by line and, like, writing a script for them, because they don't have to, right? Like,
yeah, you're right. He's already openly a spokesperson for all of this stuff. For all the worst stuff. All the worst stuff. Yeah, he's against unions. He's against green energy. He's a fucking Republican. He's just a fucking Republican, and he really gets away with that. Like, I don't believe in that politics. I just believe in a hard day's work. And it's like, no, dude, you believe in politics and you push them all the fucking time.
Well, I think a good thing Darna did in her piece also was she got him to come out as anti-union as he's going to come out, if that makes sense, by talking about the Micro Works Foundation and him saying, like, hey, look, you know, we advocate for this, but we don't get into arguments between owners and or between management and workers. And it's like, then how pro-worker are you? Then if you're not going to take a side between workers and management, I can't call you pro-worker, sir.
Yeah, exactly. The other kind of funny thing in that vein that he said in his Facebook post was, like, there was a part where, and y'all talked about this on the show earlier this week too, but there's an episode where he, like, goes and talks to, like, a dude who runs a solar company, like, about solar energy and stuff. And in the piece that I wrote, I referred to that dude that he talked to as a solar installer. And Mike Rowe in his Facebook post is like, well, Darna, he's not just a solar installer. Like, he owns the company. Like, he's an entrepreneur. I'm like, yeah, I don't think higher of this dude because he's a capitalist. Like, what the fuck you? He's like, actually, he's not just a worker. Like, he is a boss. So that means that you should have more respect for him. Like, okay, dude, I think you're kind of backfired.
And he's like, if he meets a cowboy that sells fucking wind power in Texas, he's like, well, that's a damn good thing. That's a great thing to see. It's just grand. But he's not interested in like changing the infrastructure of the world or the way things are. He's perfectly fine with that. He's benefiting from it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's just right. Like, and that's very similar to like what the whole like dirty energy industry in general does. Like, they're like, yeah, we'll put a little bit of money into like clean energy sources. We'll put a little money into like wind, a little money into solar or whatever. But like, y'all know that like, if you really cut down to it, the main thing that you're going to have to be relying on forever is oil and gas, right? Like, we all understand that, right? Like, all this wind and solar stuff, we can do a little bit of that, but that's not really what energy is.
Yeah. And so many people that saw those solar panels fail in Texas that immediately blamed it on the energy source, and not that they didn't do any sort of anything preventative for ice and snow. Like, there's solar panels in places where there's lots of ice and snow. It's not that, but they're just grasping on to any sort of narrative that suggests that there's no way of getting out of this. I mean, I think that, to me, like, at the end of the episode, it does seem like there's no way out. It's such a hopeless message, the thing that he says at the end, because it's like, we think clean energy is novel, but like, we're going to keep burning this shit. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly. I am like pretty curious to know. I wish I'd fucking asked him. Maybe I still will. I'm really curious to know like exactly what Mike Rowe thinks about climate change, like, at all. Because he said in the thing that he wrote on Facebook, like, he's like, yeah, nobody wants the like world to burn or whatever, but then he's like basically talking about how there's like still a debate about about how serious like the fossil fuels causing climate change thing is. Like, I'm both curious like what he personally thinks, and also like what he would be willing to say while like, I don't know if he's personally taking money from all these groups, but like clearly his like ventures or whatever are funded by the oil and gas industry. So, I mean,
if he was smart, he definitely wouldn't, speak up and say that climate change is real at all. I mean, that would lose him a lot of fucking money.
I mean, he's rich because...
Well, I don't know. I kind of wonder, because like all these oil and gas like lobbying groups now, their whole thing is like basically admitting like, yeah, this is a real thing, and then being like, but either like, well, it's an inevitable problem, or like, oh, but everyone's overreacting about how bad it is, or like, yeah, it's a problem, and that's why we, like, the companies should solve it, not y'all, but, like, us. So I don't know. Like, I feel like he probably could say that it's real, but I don't know what he personally believes at all.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and he's such a smug guy that he would be like, of course it's real, but we got to deal with what's real today and what we can really get done right now in the real world.
I think
where things are real.
I think what I said on the show this week is really his belief, is that, like, of course climate change is real, but I'm going to die before any of the bad stuff happens, so I don't care.
I've looked at the numbers, and by 2050 it seems pretty squirrely, but I don't have that much time left.
Yeah.
So true. It's so fucking true.
I really feel that way about guys like him, like he's making a bunch of fucking money because there are all of these like evil forces in the world, these corporations, these corporate interests, these lobbying groups, all of these like consortiums of evil people, and all they want in the whole world is a guy that is divorced from politics, who they can have come out and say what they want him to say, and people will be like, "Oh, isn't that great?" Whether it's folksy or whether it's woke or whether it's any of that stuff, that's what they want, and they don't understand, like they understand that it's politics. I think Mike Rowe understands that it's politics, but he is just a dream for these. D-Ray is another guy. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff, but like also does a lot.
Yeah.
Like will cape for like some of the worst shit in the world.
Right.
And he's like, it's like they're just a dream for these corporations where it's like they seem above reproach. I can't go to my father-in-law like, okay, he's going to hear me say Donald Trump's a piece of shit, and he's going to be like, oh, you know, Brian's just a liberal. Or I can say like, you know, Mitch McConnell's a piece of shit, and maybe he'll even agree with me and like all this stuff. But if I say Mike Rowe's a piece of shit, I'll be like, oh, now come on, you know, what'd he ever do?
Yeah.
And like, it is almost impossible to explain to somebody what he did that loves him. I'm going to start sending them your article though, now.
Yeah, I think, well, the other kind of funny thing is, like, it's totally true that part of the appeal of someone like him is that he, like, acts like this, like, oh, like, it's not politics. Like, I just have my, you know, like, down home, like, working class beliefs, whatever. But then also, like, the people who do take that politically assume that, like, I mean, I got, like, hundreds of, like, angry emails and, like, DMs and shit after he wrote this response. And, like, half of the fucking dudes who were writing to me were being like, yeah, well, I bet you never wrote anything bad about Joe Biden. And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking, like, I have nothing good to say about Joe Biden. Like, it's not fucking about that. So he brings out this, like, I don't know, like, tribal kind of thing in people or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. But, like, people get, like, really energized by whatever the fuck he's saying. And then all of a sudden think that the other side is just, like, lit. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't think that fucking like, Joe Biden, I think that Joe Biden should be taking this shit a lot more seriously, too. Like, I'm talking about Mike Rowe. I don't know.
How bad was that stuff for you? Because I know, I mean, if it was a dude, they would attack like crazy, I think. But if it's a woman, it's going to probably be even worse.
10 times.
Were they brutal? Like, are they mean?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely mean. They were mostly really funny. It was like, I mean, whatever. I just like made everything private for a week and it seemed to kind of die down.
Yeah.
But
it just doesn't, it doesn't seem to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, but I really feel like Mike Rowe's people wouldn't be mean. So it is weird that they were mean to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it was maybe people, I don't know. I feel like a lot of it maybe isn't even people who care all that much about Mike Rowe specifically. They're just like, oh, well, I feel like this like girl who's writing this is probably like a lib, and I think that climate change is fake. So I'm going to write something shitty to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some pretty wild ones. Somebody emailed me, oh my God, I like don't even, maybe Greta will let you lick her asshole now, which like, it's just clearly like, you are a man who watches child porn is what I feel about like you when I read that. Like,
Greta, the,
Thunberg.
I thought, I'm so old, I thought it was Greta Van Susteren. Goddamn lib Greta Van Susteren. Oh, so they were mad. Also, you didn't even, like, part of it was about climate change, but the whole piece wasn't about it, and they, like, kind of seized on that, I guess. I mean, you really did.
Yeah, I mean, even if I thought that climate change was fake, I would still think that there's some pretty obvious problems with Mike Rowe, but, you know.
Yeah, you really, I can't stress enough. Like, you really dug down on him in a way that like he's never going to listen to a podcast, and a lot of the people that are into him aren't going to listen to us or aren't going to listen to the Citations Needed episode, but they'll take time to read First of all, they wouldn't have taken time to read your piece, but he ended up putting it in front of them.
Yeah.
And you turned to some people. He is like so good at not fucking up. That's the thing. Like it's crazy that you infuriated him that much. My hat's off to you. I wish I could do it.
Yeah, you're a killer.
Oh my God, that means so much coming from both of you, seriously. But I was pretty shocked. I was like, I mean, like, yeah, like you, I was like, well, Mike Rowe's like not the kind of person who responds to people who like criticize him. So I was like, oh, well, whatever, he's probably not going to say anything. But it's pretty, pretty wild that he did.
It sounded brutal, though. I will say, I saw your editor posted about the piece, and people were screaming at him too, and like we're really what have you ever done in your life? And I just want to be like, what has Mike Rowe ever done? I mean, he made some TV shows.
Yeah.
Big fucking deal. I'm making a TV show.
Yeah.
Now they can't even hold that against me.
Oh my God. You gotta try to get Mike Rowe to come on like Means TV.
Oh gosh.
Like have a debate or something.
Yeah, we need to invite some opposing ideas on the Means TV with Mike Rowe.
We get screamed
exactly.
at. I wish I could. I wish we could get him on there and then just get. He's one guy. There are a few guys out there. Tucker Carlson's one. He's one. There are a few people out there that I would love to like get and like, because I was a big Opie and Anthony fan back in the day, big Howard Stern fan, and I don't do that kind of radio. And I don't want to do that kind of radio, but goddamn, he's a guy that I would love to do that kind of radio to. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, and I'll send it to you, but he got caught in a lie on the Jim and Sam show one time, and it's on.
Oh yeah,
it's really embarrassing, and it's on YouTube, and I'll send it to you. But he told a story that other people have told, like, throughout time, like a folk tale story, and got caught lying, and it is very funny.
He told a story on Opie and Anthony, and a week later people called in and said, that story that Mike Rowe told, my Scoutmaster told me that story, that same exact story.
Wait, what was the story?
The story was that one night he was riding his dirt bike home, and a bunch of cops started chasing after him. And he thought it'd be cops came up on the road, and he thought it'd be funny to run away. So he like gunned it and went through this huge pasture. And the cops like were trying to drive through the pasture, and then he ran through the woods and he got away from the police. And then later that night he got home and he was having dinner, and his parents turned on the 10 o'clock news or 9 o'clock news, and they were like, wanted bank robber gets away on dirt bike, police chase ensues. And so the story is that basically they thought he was a bank robber, and the police could have shot him because he fit the description. So if the police are ever behind you, should always stop and do everything that they say.
Wow. Yeah, that'll definitely work for everyone exactly the same way. Wow.
Yeah, very tone deaf, very once again, it's something that you tell 10-year-olds. Something that you tell 10-year-olds. Yeah.
As soon as
he told grown men the story.
Yeah, he told grown men the story, and like as soon as he left the show, they just call after call after call. People say, my Scoutmaster told me this, my priest told me this, and it's great because it really shows you like his little folksy tales and stuff is probably all
cribbed
bullshit. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for calling us, Darna. We really appreciate it. Go check out the article. But if people want to follow along with what you do, where can they find you?
I'm on Twitter. My handle is my name. It's DHARNANOOR on Twitter. Or you can go on, I write for Earther, which is Gizmodo's climate website. So you can read my stuff there about like climate change and, I don't know, the labor movement and stuff like that.
Cool.
This is so fun. Thank you so much, y'all.
You're welcome, and don't be a stranger.
We want to have you back.
DM us. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'd love to come back.
All right.
Peace. If you check out Gizmodo for Mike Rowe's new Discovery Plus show is big oil-funded propaganda from Darna Noor. Thanks for calling in. That was a great one. Someone asked if it was the same person from the Real News Network, it definitely is. You know, we have the most amount of like legitimately cool, impressive people listening to the show. But we don't, with the audiences, there's not enough of that to make like a big audience, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everybody that listens to us is fucking cool, but there's only 10% of people will ever be cool. So we're never going to achieve above like a 10% saturation rate.
No.
We're fucked.
I know. We're totally fucked. But hey, if all the people that listen to the show are cool, I'm happy with that too.
As long as we max out the 10% of coolness, I can live with that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I can't find that Mike Rowe video. We played it on the show, didn't we?
Yeah.
God, that was so funny. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I'm gonna try to find. I'll look for it. I'll try to find it.
Fellas, I'll tell you, I had one of those old 70s mopeds. You remember the ones that goes brat brat brat?
What do you
The
think?
police are coming after me, waving their guns.
What percent of stories do you think he's lying when he tells? Like what percent of his stories are fucking bullshit?
I mean, the best of the best, 100%. Like, the best of the best, you tell the best story for the situation. You don't worry about authenticity or truthiness.
That's true.
I feel like to get to his level, you have to just absorb other people's stuff and just spit it back at the right moment. Like, you just got to be able to tell a story.
right.
And make it seem like, you know, like, let's go on a ramble real quick around the block. And it's like, oh, we smoking a J or something? It's like, oh, no, I want to tell you a story.
Yeah. I mean, I like when people...
I had a
listen,
cat. Hated the getting in the bath.
I-
That old cat.
I also like when people... I only care about good stories, right?
Yes.
Like, I don't care
Yes.
about the truth anyway. I mean, like, don't insult my intelligence in front of me, you know?
Yep.
I honestly, like, if you tell me a story and part of it's a lie, but it's a funny story, I'm going to go for it, you know?
Sometimes the endings really suck. Sometimes there's a huge build-up and the ending is like a real stinker, and you just have to twist the end to make it a better thing.
Yeah.
All right, next cow. I believe we're getting a call from old Lermworm here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. How's Lermy doing tonight?
Hey guys.
What's up?
I heard you say my name just now, and I was like, oh, I'm about to go on. And then I realized that my mouth is super dry. So
Hey,
well,
you know,
we're up
thinking.
on the moisture. Did we say it right? Can I pester you for a few minutes and say we asked you if you said your name right? like the last caller?
That's what you said.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah,
sorry,
so I've had people,
Joking.
so, I mean, it's like part of my name at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
But I changed my name on Facebook to that like a few years ago, or it's just like Lermy. And so all the people I've met since then are like, oh, it's Lermy.
I love the
like-
name. It's really unique. It's a fun sound to say. It seems like, I don't know, it's a good name. It's like a schoolyard nickname.
Thanks. Yeah, and I've had people be like, what? Like, where is that from? Like, what kind of name is that? It's not really from anywhere.
Lerme? Is it Lerme or?
what kind of name is that?
Yeah, it's like French or something. But, hey,
How's it going?
nice to hear you guys. Good. What an awesome call. That was, like,
Yeah, she's great.
pretty good.
It feels like a big victory
People-
that in some small way we have gotten to Mike Rowe now. Like
Yep.
that we can
We got
take
shooters.
yeah, we got shooters. we can get to him. And finally we have. And you know, Darna did all the work.
Yeah.
And really wrote a great piece. But the fact that she was hip to him by us makes me feel so good, because now he doesn't know he's mad at me, but he's really mad at me right now.
We're like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, you guys are getting, like, degrees of separation closer to Mike Rowe
Oh, yeah.
by this happening.
At some point, we're gonna fight him. At some point,
Yeah.
we're finally gonna get to do the Brett versus Mike Rowe work off that I've been dreaming about
Yeah.
doing for a
God.
long
Yeah.
time. Where Brett and Mike Rowe load a truck side by side,
Head to head.
head to head, and whoever loads the truck, and then we'll also do clean an airplane out inside. Clean up after a flight. You go in there, you got to clean up all the stuff and make it, because that's a job.
Yeah, that's intense.
Load a truck, clean it, and then, what's another good job? Oh, y'all going to have to flip some burgers.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You're going to have to do a McDonald's. And it'll be head-to-head, Brett versus fucking Mike Rowe, and Brett will beat him. For sure, by a lot in all 3 events, and then Brett will be given the gold medal of greatest worker. And what I'll do is, I'll be like, "Fuck him up, Brett!" Like I'll be standing off to the side, saying like, "Load them boxes, dude."
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll be fit enough too to even get in on there too, and maybe try.
Yeah.
Well, it would be good if you were there heckling.
Yeah, I helped Brett move the other day, and he's the first person I've helped move in more than a decade.
Yeah.
And I carried heavy stuff, and I'm very proud of myself. Yeah, but I felt like shit.
I won't ask you to do it again. You were very reckless.
Really?
Yeah, you're extremely reckless.
My wife is reckless.
It's just a combo. It's just a wrecking ball of a couple.
Really? Did we fuck something up?
Well, just a little. If you treat your own stuff that way, then I guess I can't complain.
That is how we treat our stuff. That's the truth. Okay? We do treat our stuff like shit, too. Come look at my house anytime. I wear my shoes on the couch.
I'm heavy-handed.
I'm a no-shoes house, so I'm going to buy the little booties if you ever come over.
I'm not coming over.
I bought booties, so that if you come over, you got to put them over your shoes.
I'm just not going to come over. I'm actually not going to come over.
Okay.
Which Brett said his house isn't a hang house anyway, so I don't think he'll expect me to come over. Or I'll be like, you got to come to my house. Or I'll do what I do at other people's houses that are no shoes houses. I'll stand in the foyer.
Just stand there and like peek around the corner?
I do that.
Like, what are y'all looking at out there?
I've gone to fucking, like, whole graduation parties where I just stood in the area where the door is.
Are you afraid of, like, something biting your toe or something? Why don't you take your shoes off?
Don't you hate the feeling of having your shoes off?
Oh, my God, no. My shoes have been off, like, 90% of the last year.
Thank you.
My shoes have been on 95% of the last year. The only time my shoes are off is when I'm sleeping. The only time. I leave them on.
What do you mean?
Here's what I do. I leave them on tied very tight all day.
Sometimes I'd rather just walk outside in socks and then replace the socks when I get inside than put some shoes on.
I think right now, if I took my shoe off and showed Brett my foot and the indentations from my shoes, it would really freak him out a little bit. You want me? I'll show. I'm gonna.
They're probably so soft too, because you don't have any like foot calluses.
Are they like wrinkly, like from being wet all day?
They're not wrinkly and they're not wet. I wear very nice
monster toes. You got monster toes going on?
I do have big toenails. But here, I'm going to walk over
like
here.
I'm going to show color than the rest of his skin because they've never been touched by the sun.
It's be like fucking chicken breast over here. What is this? Ew, those are bad shoes, dog. Those are fugly feet.
See, that's where the shoelace goes across.
He ties his shoes so tight. It's the whole top of his foot is all red. It's irritated.
It's not irritated. It's just tight.
Secured.
Yeah, it's secured.
It's throbbing red from being secured so tight.
It's not throbbing. First of all,
that shit looked like it was throbbing to me. From here, I saw it pulsating.
You're making it sound like it's throbbing. It's just like take a rope or a shoelace, okay?
Like a ratchet strap for a truck.
Take a shoelace and tie it around your arm and cinch it 3/4 as tight as you can, and then take it off 13 hours later, and then you'll know what my feet look like.
Oh my God, you're doing like foot binding.
Yeah,
I kind of am. I mean, they are. I wish I could show I would show the chat, but I don't know how to get the camera on my feet. But like,
you gotta stretch your leg up.
Yeah, I can't. Well, okay. I also am not flexible.
Do a happy baby.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it. Just give me 2 seconds, chat. I'm gonna do it.
It's really bad. You gotta have some breathing room. You gotta take your shoes off. You should be wearing shoes in the house. That is a fucking I'm not going to pretend I'm
Like
one of
crime.
the good white people, but that is something that was fucking wrong that we did, which is wearing shoes in the house. It should have never happened. Too much freedom. That's too much freedom.
Yeah, I grew up in a shoes on. You could wear your shoes on, but now I'm shoes off.
Yep.
Why? Why do you guys
Realize
do
the
that to
error.
yourselves? You
Don't you
know?
want to be able to lay on the ground or something?
Yeah, I do it.
On a
It
pile
makes
of
it,
dirt?
it's like
do.
separation between your house and the outside world.
Yeah, it makes the whole inside like a special place, like a very clean, wonderful zone that isn't covered in
nicer.
the ookie gookie of outside.
I don't
I just
think
about all
about it.
the stuff I'm stepping on outside.
Yeah.
You're probably stepping on so many things because you're
In the
walking those little boots around everywhere.
I have carpet now too, and so I'm like, shoes on carpet, I'll cut your fucking feet off. If you put your shoe on my carpet, I'm
Yeah.
going to cut you off at the ankle. Like,
All
that's,
right.
it's fun, unacceptable, man. It's like a towel on the ground. You can't just put a fucking muddy shoe on top of it.
I'll never do that. I will never do it. But in my house,
Booties.
I used to do I don't like booties though. I don't like doing that.
You don't like booty?
I do like booty, you know. No, I don't like doing booties though because I don't like the part where you got to put them on. If that makes sense, you know, where you
2
got to.
seconds of
Put 'em on,
inconvenience.
It's just that way you got to lift your legs.
My God.
You could tie them real tight, and it would be like an extra shoe.
True, but I don't like that lift your legs thing where you got to like lift your legs.
Sit on your butt like a kindergartner.
Sit on my butt? No, then I have to stand back up. You guys don't understand what my flexibility's like. I think if a flexibility was on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most flexible and 1 being the least flexible, I am a 2 in flexibility.
Okay.
I mean, there are definitely 80-year-olds that are more flexible than me, that can like do. Remember when I did a yoga thing at your house and I fell over? I was trying to do Happy Baby. And they were like, just do Happy
You're
Baby.
already on the ground.
It's like really easy. And I laid down on the ground and I did Happy Baby and I just ended up tipping over to the side. I'm just like, I used to be very flexible when I was a thin guy, but now it's like all
not
I
an
hear
excuse.
about is Brian, you know, you need to stretch. When's the last time you stretched? And I couldn't tell you the last time I stretched. I can't think of a time when I stretched.
Which means you're not going to be immediately good at it when you try.
Just isn't
It's a matter of
fun,
going
you know?
back to
Yeah.
it.
Rolling over in that pose is like also fine.
Yeah, I like it. That's what makes
Just
it
roll
fun.
back the other way.
There's no bad way to do that pose. It is literally like being a happy baby. You can roll side to side and laugh about it.
But when I was a baby,
Totally.
the happiest I ever was
Sad
when I was
baby. Sad baby. Brian.
Sad. We need a sad baby pose.
when I was when I was a baby. My favorite pose to do, period, was sitting in a chair with my shoes on. That was my happy baby. That's what a happy baby Brian did.
Is what?
He put his shoes on, he tied them real tight,
Oh.
and then he sat in a nice chair, and he kind of like, he really fills up the chair. Because that's something about me that people don't know, is like, I will fill whatever chair is that you like put me in.
Okay.
I don't know, there's like an animal or something that's like that, but like, if
A cat.
no, it's like a blob. I'm like a blob
Yeah,
in a
that-
way, you know?
Yeah.
Like how, like if you,
Like in the Amazon rainforest, blobs.
something like that. Yeah. Like a blob or a fish or some kind of thing. I don't know. Or a frog.
Blobfish.
I think there was a rumor
Blowfish?
that there was, when I was younger,
Blobfish.
blobfish. When I was younger, there was a rumor that there was a frog that no matter, like, all you had to do to get a giant frog was put them in a giant aquarium, right? Like, so like,
Oh, they just keep growing and growing.
yes, to the size that is commensurate with the place that they're at. So they don't grow the size of the aquarium, but like if you bought aquarium the size of a house,
Yeah.
the frog would end
Yeah.
up being 3/4 of the size
It's
of
like
a house.
caimans and gators and some of the
I
turtles
think-
and shit are like that.
I remember reading a book that was like, this was the plot of, it's like a children's book. I think it was about a fish though.
Yeah.
And the fish they kept getting bigger houses and the fish was getting bigger. It's pretty cool.
And that's how I am when it comes to sitting in a chair on a couch. I'm basically like laying down. My girlfriend before Katie broke up with me, because she said every time I sit down, you just lay on me. And I'm like, yeah, that's like what you do with a girlfriend, right? And that's what I do to Katie.
On the couch?
Yeah. Well,
have
yes,
like
you make it sound bad. Use them like a couch. I considered it affection.
But you have like a mutant ability to make yourself larger than you appear, or to spread your weight out into a larger surface area. You completely smother somebody.
You have no idea how seen I felt when I heard them describe man spreading. Like when you started seeing people be like, y'all notice this man spreading? And as soon as the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know a lot about man spreading because I man spread.
Yeah. Identified.
Yeah, you got me there.
Man spreader.
I hate when something like that I'm glad people feel comfortable saying it, but I do when something like when people just find like a bad behavior, and they like identify it and they start calling it out, and then like you see it and you're like, oh, I do that. Like, I'm the bad behavior.
I'm the common man.
Well, it's a teachable moment, you know.
It is, but it makes you feel like
it's really a gift.
There's been so many. There was a meme. I talk about this all the time, but there was a meme that I saw one time. I think it was like from Black Twitter, or from some meme site or something that had like a dog with this like tight-lipped smile on its face that it said, "This is how white guys smile at you when they see you walking by."
Oh yeah.
And I fucking
me too.
And I noticed I do that. I don't do it anymore. Now, to overcorrect, everybody just gets the same dirty look when they not dirty, but like kind of like, hey, I'm having a bad time. Everybody I look at gets in the hey, I'm having a bad time look.
Oh, I give him the cheese instead. No. I actually give him a full
smile.
Yeah, I give him a full-hearted, genuine smile. If I think they're cool, if they seem like they're having a bad day, whoever it is, like I really cheese them now instead of just lifting the corner of my mouth up.
The awkward half smile.
Yeah.
Very uncommitted, very uncomfortable.
Hey, person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that I do that, and there's a few things I've just, when somebody brought it up, I was like, motherfucker, that is like me. I am the example of all of the bad things. I can't think of what the other thing was, but it was like, it was just my whole life. You know what I mean? Like
it'll come back to you.
Yeah, it will.
The night, probably.
I know. I'll be laying in bed and I'll be like, oh, there's another bad characteristic about myself.
So, Lermy, did you call in for a reason? I'm sorry, we didn't mean to railroad you.
I did. Oh, no, it's fine. We're chilling. So I wanted to talk to you guys about marijuana, freedom, and justice.
That's three things I like.
Are you in Rhode Island or something?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're having, if you live in Rhode Island, anyone listening, or anyone, even if you live in Massachusetts, we're neighbors. We're doing a rally at the State House to make sure that we get marijuana justice. The state is basically on track to legalize marijuana.
Cool.
But we are saying that we need to make sure that justice is like part of the equation.
Sure.
And they don't just leave everyone hanging, everyone who's been fucked over already by the racist drug laws and all of that. So we're demanding
gotta get some people out of jail.
Automatic expungement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has to be automatic. Otherwise, it's just another fucking hoop for people to jump through who already it's fucking hard to have a criminal record. It makes everything harder. And you have to it should be automatic. Wipe the slate clean. And the other thing that we're asking to be put in the legislation is really cool. It's support for worker-owned cannabis cooperatives. So the way that legalization normally goes in how it's gone in most states that have done it so far is basically that big corporations, big like fucking pharma and stuff swoop in and just like suck all the money out of that, and the revenue doesn't benefit like any of the people who, you know, have been hurt by weed being criminal.
Yeah.
So we're calling for them to provide like grants and funding and just structural support to make it so that there are worker-owned co-ops in the cannabis industry, and it's not just big companies.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's similar stuff exists in Rhode Island as far as like they have a lot of like government programs that support like the arts and small businesses, and so this would just be like, yeah, an extension of like that support, and it would be amazing if that happened, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what we're asking for that, and to express that, we're having a party at the State House. There's going to be awesome speakers. There's going to be speakers from the formerly incarcerated union and speakers from Reclaim Rhode Island, which is the group that I work with, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be music. Should be really cool. So
sounds awesome.
I wanted to let everyone know that.
When's that going down?
What's up?
When is it again?
On 4/20. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe I didn't even say it.
Awesome.
4/20, 6 p.m. at the State House.
Easy to remember.
Is there anything in there? I know this sounds like I'm being nitpicky, but like I think something that is at least missing from the Ohio medical thing, and hopefully this will be fixed when we get recreational at some point. Are they trying to get it in there so you can grow it by any chance? Because I think that's another one of the injustices I think of the way they're doing it. Is like it's so fucking easy to grow. You should be allowed to grow it.
Yeah,
that is a good point. Yeah, there's I don't know if this is included, but we have some language in our demands about like civil rights for users of marijuana, but I don't know if that extends to, you know, can you get fucking hassled for growing it? But that is a good point.
I mean, they usually try to make it. Usually, they want to make it illegal to grow, because they always leave it so that a few people can profit.
Yeah, so the big companies, you know.
Yeah, Michigan had some golden
years. They make their money.
Michigan, I still think, is doing pretty good. But yeah, letting people grow as much as they can sell is the way to fucking do it. Like Ohio's did such a really poor job of handing out growing license to like two dozen companies or something that had gigantic grow rooms instead of letting people, you know, grow it themselves and you know, and do what they, you know, have a small business. Essentially, there's no small businesses in Ohio for marijuana growing.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to address with the worker ownership and like a cooperative model. Having basically the idea is that the people in the community throughout Rhode Island can, you know, make a living from it, and it's not just, you know, going to be going to one CEO.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool like worker ownership stuff happening in Rhode Island right now too. I feel like, I don't know if someone should call in from White Electric Cafe. I don't know if anyone has, but it's like a local coffee shop, and they unionized, and the owners were like, we're going to sell the cafe. And so you're like, oh, that sucks. But then they were like, oh, we can sell it to you guys though. So the workers like they did a fundraiser and they made enough money to buy the cafe. So it's like, I'm going to reopen as a worker-owned cafe.
Fucking gnarly.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're going to close the cafe. Cafes are the worst.
I did not get into this. I'm just trying to run a cafe. I'm not trying to do all this.
Yeah.
They just fold.
Yeah.
They're usually someone's part-time hobby. You know, you can't really make a living off of them, I don't think.
Off a cafe?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll try open one and find out, you know?
It always just seems like somebody's rich partner.
Yeah,
has
for sure.
one.
For sure. Well, Lerm, thanks for calling.
Totally.
I'm
yeah,
glad you can rewind on the YouTube to see my feet if you feel like you want to see that. See the picture of my feet that you missed, okay? But
Thanks for the reminder.
okay, I just letting you know. They are pretty wild looking. I'm going to tell you the truth. Everybody in the chat said they look crazy. So
I feel like I can picture it. It's like when you've been in the pool really long.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Wrinkled.
you know, too moist and really white.
Yeah, we call that monster feet.
yeah, it is very white, but it's got a lot of red in it too. It's got little indentations from my
No, it's mostly just that's why you're grumpy all the time.
Nope.
You're like that goddamn lion that
Got your
had that
feet
thorn in its paw that was just like real always pissed until someone took the fucking you need to take that thorn and get some fucking better shoes. Like your shit looks I feel bad for your feet, dog.
I don't have a thorn in my paw. That fucking hits really hard because that story is something that really made a difference in me when I was a little kid. Was the lion with the thorn in his paw?
Yeah.
Now you're acting like
Because your
I'm
feet hurt. That's why.
Yeah, now you're acting like I'm the lion with the thorn in my paw. My feet feel great. They're comfortable. I love it. They're great. And somebody's got to draw the lion with a thorn in his paw with my stupid head on it.
Yeah, we're all just a lion with a thorn in our paw, really. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Lermy. We'll talk to you later. We love you.
Well, can I shout out one more thing? Sorry.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Okay. So come to the 420 rally. It's going to be good. And then also, if you live in Rhode Island and you like socialism and like making people's lives better, and you do some type of art, graphic design, video work, please contact me because Reclaim Rhode Island needs more people doing that stuff.
Sweet, yeah, do that. Help out with Reclaim Rhode Island. I do like the I do like pushing these people on when they're going to pass legalization because you know they're just going to hand it to capitalists basically. So it's really good that you're out there and organizing around this.
Yeah, we've got to make it happen. And you can contact me on Instagram probably. Yeah, that's probably the best. And it's Lermworm, Lerm, worm, like the little guy in the ground.
Lovable creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hit me up. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Peace.
Let's do one more before we go to break just to work through the queue.
Yeah. I did find the Flat Earth email. Here's what it was. I'll leave my the ambassador sign up link below. I'm not sure if you're aware of the dangers of 5G, but Blank has created underwear to prevent that radiation from attacking the male reproductive system. Should you choose to partner up, we would create you a personal link. If anyone signs up and makes a purchase, you get 20% of that purchase, and they get 15% off for using the link. Spots have filled up, so I'll leave the sign up below. It's free, but once you sign up, you'll have access to a dashboard containing further instructions as well as analytics. But they don't give you any. So you got to buy them. So basically it's a way to get people to... It's just sales. Like I have to buy them, and then I'll do a review and try and sell them to make, a few dollars.
I wonder how many of our ironic dumbass listeners would buy it. Like, I know if we start reading a read, people would be like, I'm gonna buy them. I mean, it's funny. It's a funny joke. It's like when I bought the singlet.
Yeah.
I just had the singlet in my hand earlier today, and I was like, why did I buy a singlet?
Someone on Twitter said, wear the singlet, rent a pole vaulting setup, and get to town and do some athletics. So there was someone on Twitter
do some athletics.
Someone said they would underwrite the whole expedition if you wanted to do a pop-up pole vaulting club. You wore the singlet. I didn't want to put down. They're ready to pay to play. Like, they're going to do it.
Underwrite a pop-up pole vaulting
Yeah,
club.
we'll sell ads, and we'll get people. We'll hand out power gels and shit.
I mean, do you think anybody else would do it with me?
I wanna do it.
There's
I wanna
probably,
do
like
pole
all
vault.
kinds of people like me out
Fuck
there.
yeah, I want to do pole vault for sure, man. I told you it was a bad idea. It doesn't mean I don't want to do it. Like I want to do it.
Yeah.
I watched a guy fail so bad on pole vault. It cracked me up so bad. On Reddit, he went up and he didn't let go and then came back and then he was fucked. Once you come back, if you don't let go, it just flings you. It just fucking throws you.
I thought that's what you did, though.
No. If you try to go up and you can't get over the bar, and then what happens is the pole starts to bend backwards again, and then you just fucking get pitched to the side.
Yeah. I want to do it, man. We got a fucking pole vault. Maybe when we get on the road, somebody will be like, hey, Brian, I run a pole vaulting gym.
I'm a high school coach. Yeah, we'll get a call from a high school coach.
Yeah, and hopefully a pole vaulting gym.
A pole vault and a fucking hipster pole vaulting gym in Branson, Missouri will get a hold of us and let's do it like a pole vaulting experience.
Yeah. I mean, we get a lot of cool experiences when we're touring.
True.
And, you know, if there is a pole vaulting gym in the United States and one of our listeners is somewhere around it,
Yep.
they'll get us in. And
Yep.
we will pole vault.
It's pole vault time.
And I want to throw the disc and the heavy thing. I want to throw
put.
the heavy thing.
Discus and
I call
shot
it the
put.
heavy thing. The heavy ball.
Okay. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello?
This is me?
It's you.
There is.
Oh, excellent. This is Brandon from Pittsburgh. Him. First of all,
Thank
I
you.
want to put something out on the Mike Rowe thing. That dude's worker credentials include him being a fucking opera singer. So fuck him. Like, that dude's class consciousness is firmly
Hey, he was
never having worked a day in his life.
he was an usher at a movie theater too. So
He also had a rich benefactor that let him sleep in his mansion for free for a while. So we've learned a lot about him over the years. Hey, I need real quick, just 1 second before we get into this call. What's the thing that you hold in your hands and you spin around and you throw it? You know what I'm talking about?
yes.
Oh, and I want to do a javelin. But I want to do
you're
those too.
You want to do a field day?
But I don't want to run
Track
or
and field
jump in
day?
hurdles. I don't want to jump hurdles or run.
What is the swinging thing? Yeah, that's fucking insane.
That thing rocks.
They put divots in the sand. Yeah, what is that thing?
I'll look it up. Hammer throw. I want to do the hammer throw too. Let's just fucking do track, man. Let's just fucking join a track and field club, dude.
Okay.
All right, man. I'm in.
TNF.
No running though. Tell them I won't run.
You gotta run, dude.
Nope. Not gonna run. I'll never run again in my whole entire life.
You're gonna regret that decision. You're really gonna regret that decision.
What's going on tonight?
Well, first off, I'll say, Brett, I know you've talked a lot about cars and like racing and stuff in the last like couple of months. And I don't live too far from Columbus, man. I'm about to drop a big block in my like ratty old muscle car, and I'm gonna come out and let you drive it one day if you want.
Absolutely. Somebody else, another listener, they imported an R32 Skyline from Japan, and they took me on a ride around 270, and we like fucking fishtailed all over the place. It was awesome. So yeah, I'll go on joyrides. I'll take my fucking top off and swing my titties out the window and everything.
I do want to say this though. I mean, Pittsburgh's going to be one of the first live shows. Like 100% for sure. Huh?
I'll make sure I've got my engine ready to go. I've got a 67 Oldsmobile with a 455 I'm putting in it. So
God damn.
we'll spin some tires, man.
I can see us in Pittsburgh before the summer's over. I mean, I can't make any promises, obviously, because the world's all fucked up. But,
yeah,
I mean, that's one of the Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh, if you're in Florida, if you're in Columbus, I mean, you're probably going to get a street fight show sooner than later.
Driving places, 6 hours of driving is more likely to get a show than anybody.
Yeah, but I mean Pittsburgh and Florida because we canceled those gigs.
Fair warning, I have like crippling anxiety sometimes, so I can't say I'll be at a show. But yeah, if you want to go for a drive, I'll take you around and drop you off at the show. You know.
All right.
See where I'm at the time.
Yeah,
We'll throw
pull
some-
up at the show. I'll fucking stand outside the show, smoke cigs, and fucking you pull up, and I'll be like, let's go on stage. It'll be
We'll throw some bleach under the tires.
maybe Nick can film it like the old comedy specials. You know what I mean? Where they would like fucking they'd be sitting at a restaurant and then the guy would get up and then he would like walk across the street and then through the building and then like but you would pull up in a muscle car and then walk through the building into the green room
Right.
and then out on stage like an old HBO comedy special.
Yeah, perfect.
That was like the only opening that they did back then.
Yeah, well, I'm made for that. I'm old school, baby.
He is old school.
Yeah, so as much as I love cars and stuff, I actually called for a pretty specific reason today. I work at a machine shop, and incidentally, like, I guess I'm like, what, the third consecutive week you guys have a welder calling in.
Hell yeah.
My dad was welder.
Oh yeah, I want to keep that trend going.
This is a welding show now.
Yeah. I listened to your thing on Trash Future this week, Brian, and my company is like struggling to stay afloat, except that in the last 2 months we got a huge contract that everyone is really excited about because it's going to save the company. And guess who it's with?
Don't tell me it's that place in Lordstown. Endurance? Is that what it's called?
We are making parts. We have like a $1.5 million contract with the Lordstown plant.
I got to tell you the truth.
And
you probably don't have a $1.5 million.
Well, that's why I called. As soon as I heard the Trash Future thing, I started doing a bunch of research and talking to the people at my work, because everyone where I work is super excited because things have been going really downhill. It's the classic case of like this business was really thriving and then the owner died and his son took over. So not so thriving anymore. And yeah, so I started talking to people about it and hearing more and more about how the Lordstown like execs had been through the shop and told them about the lawsuit, but was telling everyone that it's actually just a scheme from some short sellers who are trying to like short sell the stock and make profit doing that. So they're being completely dismissive of the actual scandal that's going on around them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean when you get that contract and you get that money, like that's how people get conned. You know, I've been like really fascinated with like cons, and there was a story, and I actually read 2 stories about people getting conned in the New York Times this week. And the one that I read was about Jason Kidd's wife. Can't remember her name. She hired this assistant, and this assistant, she gave her access to all of her financial accounts.
Oh no!
Everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then caught her stealing.
Yeah.
Caught her stealing basically she had stolen $350,000. Okay. And she called, so Jason Kidd's wife, and I wish I could remember her name. She calls the lady, right? And she's like, hey, you know, do you know what happened to this $350,000? And the lady drives to her house and cries on her front porch.
Portia
And it's
Coleman?
What?
Portia Coleman?
I think it's a different name.
Jornana.
Yeah, so she shows up and she's crying on her porch, right? And she's like, please forgive me. You know, I'll pay it back. I'll make restitution. Not only does she forgive her, but she keeps her on and doesn't change any of the information and fucking catches her stealing again.
What?
A second time.
No.
Yeah, this
Wow.
woman's like she's like a con artist. She did it to a few different people. But like
She was able to convince her that she really changed her ways.
yeah, it seems like she did it every time too, because she would get caught, then she would apologize and cry and all this shit, and then they would hire her. There was another story I read about the Friars Club in New York, and they hired a guy who had been arrested for using charities to do scams, to like con people, and he called himself the King of Cons. And when he got out of jail, He wrote a book called The King of Cons. He went around giving speeches as the King of Cons, and then the Friars Club hired him to run their charity section, and the motherfucker conned him. So, like, when you get conned, a lot of times you're just so excited for whatever this person's offering you.
Yeah.
You can't see, like, your boss can't see past the $1.5 million. Like,
yeah.
It seems like so much money that it's like there's no fucking way this is gonna fall through. But this truck is so stupid. For people that didn't hear Trash Future, it's an electric truck that they haven't tested yet. They have like rolled it. They've test driven it down a hill, and then another time like tried it. And the big gimmick with the truck is that I swear to you, and your guys are going to think this is the craziest fucking thing in the world, but I'm not lying to you. The big gimmick with the truck is that it doesn't have one engine. It has 4 engines above each wheel.
Oh, man. It's like a drone.
Yeah.
They made it like a drone.
Yo, Brian, I don't want to have to correct you, but I think you're mixing something up, because the company that actually pushed the truck down the hill, and that was the only video they had, was Nikola. The endurance was even better. They test drove it for 10 minutes before it burst into flames.
yeah, that's right. It caught on fire. And it's just like...
Code Blue said it explodes.
And then you're just like, come on, man. Don't... Listen, $1 million sounds fucking great. If you told me that I was going to get $1 million, I probably would let you con me too, to tell you the truth.
Right. And at the end of it, like, you can write it off on your taxes when you get conned.
The real whammy for my shop is that they're excited about this contract. I forget the specific number. I think I'm rounding up. I think it's actually like 1.3 or 1.4 million over the course of like 2 or 3 years.
Oh no!
But we're having to buy like a $200,000 or $300,000 machine to run these parts.
I just don't see this thing happening, dude. That factory in Lordstown. They were just faking having a factory. It's all very fucking weird. Like, that factory isn't even set up to make cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I watched a documentary about some of it too.
It's such a scam. It's so funny though. I mean, you can sign up. I know that you can pre-order a car. You could get on the waiting list for cars for $1,000. And they're just taking $1,000 from people to sign up to get on a list for a car that doesn't exist, that also has, I mean, nobody's ever like, you know what the great part about having a car is having an engine. And I'd like to have 4 of those.
Yeah, I've been trying to read about their design, and it doesn't sound great.
Yeah, and I mean, I just know that, like, when things go wrong on a car, it's usually the engine, because that's the big piece of the car. So having 4 of them seems like a really bad decision for a car. But it just seems like
when you're mounting it directly to the wheel where everything can hit it, and if you go off-road at all, it's definitely going to smash into stuff and things like that.
And they show them driving off-road all the time too, right? Like on the website, if you look at the website, they're driving off-road on it the whole time, or they're not driving because the fucking thing catches on fire. They're on they like have them on dirt roads and stuff to show, because they're supposed to be for job sites, which that's the interesting thing about it to me. It's like, I would love to sit down with your boss and be like, dude, I mean, I know they're supposed to be for like fleets. That's what they're planning for, is fleets. And you just want to be like, man, it's just not going to it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
these things aren't going to, they don't have any desire to make this happen.
A lot of people on Twitter don't even check those things.
Yeah.
I think my work was banking pretty heavily on the fact that it's like, well, they're partnered with GM, so we really don't need to do much due diligence.
No.
Yeah,
that's another thing though.
They're just super excited.
That's another thing though, like, they checked. I mean, you can just say you're partnered with GM, dude. Like, I just feel like, You know, before I put that money into that equipment, I would be like, dude, you need, I would tell your boss, like, yeah, cash a check or two. And really, like, this whole thing's going to go bad for everybody, I think. I mean, for Lordstown specifically, I think it's going to be tough. And now for you, it's going to be tough.
No, for me, it's going to be great because, like, I have a backup plan, and this might be the thing that finally puts my company out of business so I can cash some unemployment checks. Like, I don't give a shit about this job.
Yeah. It's a I
cannot emphasize enough that I want my work to close down. Everyone sucks shit. It's a bunch of reactionaries, and I'm completely cool. Like, I have a solid backup plan, so I'll collect unemployment for a while and then start my own thing. I'm good.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, like, please keep us posted.
Dude, the hilarious thing really is that, like, when I heard you guys on talking about it on Trash Future, I started reading everything I could about it, and I brought it to all of my coworkers. I'm like, y'all, do you know that, like, all of the investors are literally suing this company, and we're making parts for them, and, like, all of this stuff is going on? And everyone, like, freaks out for, like, 30 seconds, and then the cognitive dissonance kicks in, and they're like, actually, you know what? It's probably going to be fine. They'll sort all that stuff out. Businesses figure things out.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like,
that's been a classic thing that business has done.
Yeah, it always works out really well for, like, the average worker who's, you know, making the stuff. So it'll be fine, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, especially when you don't know anything about business, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know anything about business, and I would probably be in the same boat as them. Like, that, you know, they always figure it out. You know, you know, this place ain't never. I mean, when I was working for the cable company, I was under the firm belief that place was never going to close ever. And I'm sure they won't, you know, but like when you're working, a lot of times people don't think about their place that they're working closing, and they just think business fixes everything. Like that like not my business isn't getting conned. But your business is getting conned.
For 2 years, straight, every month, I'm like, how are we still in business?
Yeah,
we wasted so much money this month and didn't make anything. How the fuck are we still open?
I mean, do you think it's I mean, are you feeling like do you ever ask them where the money's coming from or anything?
Oh, I mean, I don't have to ask. Our owner is independently wealthy. It's like his family name is on the business, and he has this like pie in the sky dream about saving his father's business, but the business didn't start sucking shit until he took over.
Okay.
And so he just keeps sinking money into it, thinking like, no, I would make my dad proud if he were still alive. Except his dad would be so massively disappointed if he were still alive.
Yeah. Well, he's getting ripped off by a stupid company.
Yeah, he seems like very much a fail son who just is like bumbling through life.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling. Is there anything you want to plug?
Oh, yeah, if I could. Actually, through Street Fight, I met a few dudes who are lefty car guys, and we started our own podcast. It's the Cars and Comrades podcast. So, you know, check it out wherever podcasts are sold, I guess.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll have to give that a listen. Thanks for calling. Listen to Cars and Comrades.
Yeah, if we get any updates on the Lordstown plants, I'll give you guys a call back.
Please keep us posted on that. We love cons.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know who I'm supporting it on this con, but I just hope my work closes so I can get unemployment.
Yeah. So you're probably going to be happy then.
Yeah. The big payoff is coming.
I just don't want to have to keep waiting for it.
Right.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Peace. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. We had a lot of great callers. We've got a pretty big queue, but I think we can get to you. We're just going to have to make the next half of the show kind of sped up, which is not a problem.
We'll take a short break, and we'll come back in here, and we'll burn through calls. Be concise if you're on hold.
This week we have music from Admiral Shaman and the Brainbenders. This album is called Gladys and Her Psychosis with Moses. Where are they on here? Did they have? I don't know if they said anything. Let me see if they sent a message. I lost the
Lost the freaking thread.
I lost it, yeah. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Here it is. Sorry. Yo there, Brett and Brian. Hope you're doing well. I've been a listener for a couple months now, and I was hoping to do a music submission for the show. Not sure if okay. Anyways, one of my close friends from back home in North Dakota, where I grew up, released this first album with his friend. Their band name is Admiral Shaman and the Brainbenders. If you like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard or psychedelic rock type stuff, I think it's worth checking out. Thanks for sending it in. Appreciate it. You're the best. If you have music you want to send to Street Fight Radio, just DM it or send it to streetfightradio@gmail.com. This is Admiral Shaman and the Brainbenders. We'll be back. We're Street Fight. Peace. Oh my gosh. I gotta pee all over myself. Hey everybody, welcome back to Street Fight Radio, and hope you enjoyed the music. Oh man, I forgot the name already. That was Admiral Shaman and the Brain Benders. Admiral Shaman and the Brain Benders. You can find them on Spotify. Just look for Admiral Shaman and the Brain Benders. There they are. Thanks for sending that in. I really appreciate it. If you have music, streetfightradio@gmail.com. You know the other thing that I really love doing over the last few days? I went to the grocery store. I bought the craziest shit that my heart desired. Like, I could buy anything I fucking want to make any dinner I want. And that was, felt fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah. House full of just pungent flavors.
Gross. Come on.
All right.
I don't want I don't want to even smell your house now. I'm afraid.
Let's see.
Drinking that matcha or whatever that shit is that
I love
gave
matcha.
You. Whatever that shit is we gave you.
That hustle matcha is not. The lemon lime is a bad flavor. It's not appealing. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Thanks. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Lucas from Connecticut. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you, Lucas?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I know you guys are in speed round, so not going to try to take too much time. I got a quick shoplifting tip, and then a loss prevention story. Both of those are super quick. And then I want to talk about a Facebook post I made like a month ago that 150 comments later caused me to take a little break from the Street Fight Facebook group. So,
oh no, okay.
That sounds cool.
That's fine with me.
The first two are real fast.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. Go ahead with the loss prevention stuff.
All right, so you guys were talking about Tide and how that was a thing people apparently were stealing for to flip.
Yes.
Something that's even easier to steal and flip, and something that everybody completely forgets about on like supermarket sweep when they're trying to fill their cart with valuables: spices.
That's actually true. That is actually
saffron. Saffron is like $100 an ounce. So
yeah.
Saffron and vanilla bean. That shit, you just put that in your pocket and you are good to go.
Wait, can I ask you this, though? Do you know of a place where they sell hot spices? Because I'll fucking go there and buy my spices.
I mean, they've got like saffron at the grocery store. Just they have it at Stop and Shop here in Connecticut.
I mean, do you know a place where they sell stolen spices?
Can you get it for 50% off?
No. That's the thing. I don't. It's probably not as easy to flip as Tide because everybody needs laundry detergent. Not everybody needs saffron and vanilla bean.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I could fucking use both of those things. You know, I would buy cumin. I'd buy stolen cumin. I'd buy stolen any spice, really. Because spices are fucking crazy expensive. I'm going to start a fucking stolen spice store.
At the flip
there you
market?
go. You call it hot spices, and everybody thinks it's spicy food, but it's actually just like boosted spices.
Stolen spices, that's true. And you said you had a loss prevention thing?
Yeah, so I used to know a guy who was a loss prevention guy at Lowe's, and he took some like sliding glass doors, like the couple $1,000s for a set of doors. And the story goes, I can't really confirm this, but what I was always told was that he took these doors, put them behind his store one day, like just set them out by the dumpster. And when he was done with work, went, picked them up and returned them to a different store, knew how to like game the system, made a couple $1,000s, and then used that to start his own landscaping business and quit his loss prevention job.
That's fucking incredible. Great. I mean, if the loss prevention guys...
Great way to start it.
Right. If the loss prevention guy's stealing, nobody's there to catch him. You know? It's almost like you should just get a job as a loss prevention worker to steal.
Well, the other thing, too, is you develop a system to steal from work, and you exploit it, and you use it, and you get caught, and you get sent out the door. But if you're in loss prevention and you know a way to pull off a heist that will fund like a new, exciting, different life for you that you're in charge of, you can just pull one heist and be done with it. I used to also, at several of my customer service jobs, I would throw away a lot of stuff and then call my friends, and they would go into the dumpsters in the back and grab the stuff and drive away with it, or I would pick it up later that night.
Yeah, that's genius.
Hell yeah. Great way to make a couple bucks.
Yeah. Okay. Now, don't get us in trouble with the Facebook group. We like those people, and I don't want to like air their drama on the show.
I feel you. And all of the drama that occurred is 100% my fault, and I asked for it, and I've learned from the experience. And so about a month ago, I was at a drive-thru. Somebody littered, and I responded inappropriately. I hopped out of my car and tried to return the garbage to them, and their window was already rolled back up, so I tried to open their door and toss it in. Completely unacceptable. You can't try to open somebody else's car door in just about any scenario, but certainly not in a drive-thru. And, when I see somebody litter, or when I saw somebody litter, I just had like a moment where my blood boiled, and I just wanted to give the trash back to them. I wasn't going to assault anybody. I wasn't planning to harm anyone, but there's no way in hell the people in the car could have known that. They were uncomfortable and scared, rightfully so. And there is a chance that, I may have traumatized these people. And the people that were in the car were, just based on what I was seeing while waiting for my tacos in the drive-thru, it was a rambunctious car full of probably teenagers. They might have been early 20s. I don't know. Younger than me, and primarily girls. Mm-hmm. And somebody, and I posted in the Facebook group a "Am I the Asshole?" post, and I asked for feedback, and boy did I get it. Oh boy. Oh yes.
Yeah. I don't have the guts to do an "Am I the Asshole?" post, because 98% of the time I think I am. But hey, I would just say this, like that. Here's the thing. I would have never thought about that being sort of a problematic thing, or a thing that people might be bothered by, because I am like a dude, and like I'm kind of bigger, and like I just don't think about things like that. Like I don't think about how I could be I don't think of myself as intimidating. So like I would maybe have said kind of the same thing. I would have been right where you are, sort of like, oh, maybe without knowing how it can affect people. But a couple of years ago, a friend of ours, or probably last year, maybe the year before, a friend of ours that's been on the show a few times, Kristen, said a guy followed her home after some, perceived slight on the road, followed her home, or followed her to the store maybe, and then screamed at her when she got out of the car. And she told me how scared she was. And like, that really changed the way I think about that kind of shit. And it sounds like you learned something. So I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, even if it, like, it could have been anybody in the car, and you also could have gotten shot, in the United States. But like,
that was brought up. That was made clear to me. And they're all right. A lot of people had a lot of feedback, and I asked for it. But somebody said, oh, if it hadn't been a car full of girls younger than you, you probably wouldn't have done that. And it wasn't necessarily the fact that they were girls that were younger than me. If it had been like a 60-year-old man with Joe Biden stickers, I would have done the same thing. But I probably would have done the same thing. But if it had been like a lifted pickup truck with a gun rack, probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really consider myself to be an intimidating person. I had no intention of, harming anyone. But like we said, there's no way anyone could have known that. And a handful of street fighters reached out to me, and like asked how I was, and big shout out to the handful of folks that contacted me and inquired about my my well-being and whatnot, and my mental state. And a couple of people helped me realize that I do have maybe a slight problem with like some sort of righteous anger type of thing. And the same thing kind of happens when I'm driving and I see somebody like changing lanes without a blinker or something. If they're wrong and I know that they are wrong, it feels good to get heated and get angry and think that I'm right. And, this righteousness that overtook me can be dangerous and problematic. So,
hey,
thanks to the people that gave me the feedback. It got pretty out of hand, and I wanted to take a break from it, but I hope the street fighters on Facebook can forgive me, because I did fuck up, and I know I did, and I didn't even. Some people said, "Hey, you should really put like a content warning at this," because I guess there's street fighters that had like carjacking experiences, and people were feeling pretty triggered by just reading the post. And as somebody who, again, doesn't like, I just didn't think about how that would impact other people, just me sharing the post. So
right.
Think about your actions.
Yeah. Hey, you handled it. Even if it wasn't handled great in the actual moment, I'll say this. Calling in and kind of saying, I get what everybody was saying and like, I think I was wrong and stuff like that. I mean, that's the way I think that makes the world go round to me, I joke around a lot about like canceling and stuff like that. But like, I think that like really even you can't know what's on the other side of what you post. And you can't know if something's going to trigger somebody or make somebody feel bad. And that, to me, I'm not saying like, don't post things that I'm not telling anybody not to post anything. Really, you can post anything you want. But like, it's the when the reaction is like that, sometimes you just got to be like, hey, I didn't think of myself like that. And again, I think what you did really is a problem with a lot of us, dudes specifically, of not knowing that you are intimidating. You can think what you think about yourself. It's kind of like the nice guy syndrome thing, where like guys think they're really nice, but they're really an asshole. And they're just in their mind like, oh, I'm everybody knows I'm just fucking around. And it's like, no, everybody doesn't know you're just fucking around. Everybody doesn't know that you weren't actually going to do anything. And like, you have to operate on the assumption that nobody knows who you are ever is how I've kind of seen it. And like, also, like I said this earlier, but like becoming conscious of the space that you take up in the world can be, I think it's pretty, it like, I don't know what it does, but it makes you feel, it helps you understand who you look like to other people. And I think that's important for everybody to think of. And, hey, I think that you calling in and you looking at, you're doing what I do. And that is like a thing where it's like, okay, maybe I was wrong here. Here are the reasons, and then adjusting accordingly. And like, we all have a righteous anger issue. I think a lot of people do. And it's just something that has to be channeled and pushed in the right direction at the right people. But hey, hopefully people are feeling better about it. And it shows growth, I think, when somebody can take things the way you have. So good job.
Well, I'm hoping that I can, interact with the group again and not get cyberbullied or whatever.
Oh, so, they're not going to do that. They're sweeties.
I've taken my hiatus, and I plan on coming back.
All right.
And then one last quick thing before I bounce. Brian, regarding your eating healthier, I've been a vegetarian for 8 years, and there's a lot of reasons to not eat meat. You can do it for the animals. You can do it for your health. You can do it for the planet. But the biggest thing that kept me eating healthier was spite. Because my family didn't think that I'd be able to do it, because prior to being a vegetarian, I ate plenty of meat. So I'm here to tell you, Brian, you can't do it.
Yeah,
Please
well, I can't.
I believe in you, but you can't do it.
I'm trying.
You can do it, man. Just do it out of spite. Find somebody to spite.
Yeah, for me, spite doesn't work. It does work. Everything runs on spite here. But like, this is going to have to be something that I take on and be tough. And that's how I'm phrasing it, is I got to be tough. I'm using my toxic masculinity against myself by saying like, fucking tough guy could eat a salad and just be happy. Hey, you know, a fucking tough guy like John Wick, he probably has some dinners that are just naan with various vegetables and hummus on them too. You know, you don't get in shape if you don't eat stuff like that. You know, you gotta be fucking tough, Brian. Hey, you know all those MMA fighters that are fucking vegans? You know, those guys are fucking tough. And I'm trying to convince myself that it's tough what I'm doing. That I'm tough and badass.
Hell yeah.
Well, thanks
And
for
you
calling.
can't fight the system if you're not in good shape. So
Well,
keep it
yeah.
up, man.
Thanks for
I love
calling.
you guys. I love all the Street Fighters. I love everyone. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thanks for calling.
Peace.
Yeah, you like my way of thinking. I'm trying to adjust to. Tough guys eat healthy.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a Barnes and Noble bestseller, maybe. Just like reverse toxic masculinity.
You want me to write the book? Tough guys eat healthy.
How to bully yourself into feminism or something should be like the
Yeah.
subtitle.
Hey, you want to be a fucking man? Eat a grilled chicken salad for dinner. You know? Oh, you think eating a steak makes you something? Maybe fucking try eating pita with a little bit of sweet potatoes and beans on it.
Yeah,
You know?
sure.
Beans are for badasses is one of the chapters, you know, where I just talk about all the badass
Cool things that beans do.
Yeah. Oh, they got protein in them. They make you fucking fart and they clean out your butt.
You can make aquafaba with chickpea water and shit.
Yeah,
They're amazing.
I did tell Brett before we got on the air that I love that I'm now a big fan of fiber. Like I'm the number one fiber head in America right now. Nobody likes fiber as much as me.
That's great. I'm a big fan of fiber too.
Yep.
A very regular guy. I did want to also say, actually, to just tag on, because I haven't talked about it in a while, but there's a book by Bell Hooks called The Will to Change, and it covers righteous anger a lot, because, you know, masculinity in our culture, the only way we're able to express our feelings is a lot of times through anger or being mad. And, like, even in the worst parts of it, you know, like a soldier is using violence, but they're using the right amount of violence. Yeah. So it's like when you know somebody's wrong, then you're allowed to go over the top. You know, like what he was talking about. Somebody littered, they get what's coming to them. You know, and so righteous anger is like a very specific part of masculinity that, you know, through like Joe Biden type diversity training, they just want to let everybody do it. Like that's what diversity is. Let everybody do righteous fucking justice. But it's something we need way less of in this world, especially from fucking dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, check the book out. Will to Change by Bell Hooks. I love it. One of my guiding lights in this world. All right, next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Hank in Los Angeles.
What's up? Hold on one second, Hank.
Sure.
Catfish victim in the chat said Jordan Peterson only eats meat and he can bench 65 pounds. So that's something that I will keep in mind all the time. But what's up? What's going on tonight?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just sitting here in my tight shoes indoors, feeling it. I'm on Brian's side on that debate.
You like tight shoes?
I wear them inside all the time. I'm not quite like you, but I keep them tight. I get uncomfortable when they get loose, so I will tie them indoors to keep them snug.
Yeah, and you like the shoes.
Like a weighted blanket.
You like having shoes on. You're not being forced to wear your shoes. You like wearing shoes.
But I also like that like Skittles commercial feeling when you take them off. Finally,
right?
And you get that refreshing.
That's also the thing people aren't thinking about with me. It's like my shoes are on so tight all the time, and then you fucking take them off at the end of the night, and it's like, damn, that feels nice.
Yeah, you're edging.
Yeah, exactly.
I am edging all day.
You're restricting the amount of open air your feet can get until one glorious moment at the end of the day.
Yeah. Tonight at about 12:15, I will untie my shoes and go to, or probably about 12:30 actually. I'll untie my shoes and go into the bathroom and take a shower and then get out and watch Ray Donovan for 3 hours. But so what's going on tonight?
Well, I'm worried about the pole vault idea. Film it so we can see how bad it goes, but you should do some high jumps or you should practice first. Do some high jumping. I was just thinking like that's a good starter track and field package. Pole vault's the worst you could try.
Can I tell you something real quick though? We had a
Yeah.
podcast like 12 years ago before this, and
Thank you. Tell this story, please.
and we spent like a good long while. Brian claimed that he could kick a field goal, and we explained like the level of athleticism and, you know, all of that. And we finally went out to the old uprights, and he kicked a fucking field goal on his first try. And I fucking sent one spiraling right into the fucking dirt.
I did kick a field goal, and it was one of the best times of my life because everybody was like, dude. And I did it in cargo shorts, too, I think. And
work boots.
And work boots. And everybody was like, dude, you can't kick a fucking field goal. You don't even know what you're talking about. People train their whole life to kick a field goal. And I'm like, I could kick an extra point for sure. That's not even like a problem. And everybody was like thinking I was doing my thing where I say, like, this thing's really easy. And I did it, because I knew, here's the thing about it. I knew that I could look at those uprights from where I was standing. I knew that the football's a big thing. It's big enough, right? Yeah. I'm not aiming at anything too hard. The uprights are huge. There's so much space
gigantic
in the upright, you know? And I just know how strong my leg is. That's the thing. Like, people always talk about, like, oh, Brian doesn't know his own, or not Brian. Oh, he didn't know his own strength. They always say that. Well, I do know my strength, and it's immense.
Called it.
Yeah. It's immense amount of strength.
It was wild. It was so wild. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy for you.
I've done field goal type stupidity with friends, and the problem we had was we had someone hold it, and you end up kicking your friend's hand. Did any of that happen? That's
no, but it would have been funny.
Your buddy came out that had the tee, right?
Yeah, we had a tee. I had
whatever
a friend that had a tee.
The little, whatever the plastic piece is.
Yeah, and I kicked that fucking thing, and everybody was like, Brian can't do it, Brian can't do it. You know, people have been telling me I can't do stuff my whole life, and guess what? I can kick a field goal at the very least. I can kick a field goal, and then probably like pole vault. I don't have any doubt in my mind that if you put me in front of a motherfucking pole vaulting gimmick, whatever they call it, a rig
out,
pole vaulting rig,
yeah,
and give me a pole vault, I'll fucking do it, dude. I'll do it. I'm not gonna pole vault the highest pole vault, but I'll do the lowest one.
Taller than how tall?
No. It's gonna, no matter which one you choose, you're gonna stab yourself in the spleen when it jams in. It just looks so crazy. I'd like to see it though.
I will tell you this. I was through the whole first part of the show watching pole vaulting fails. I had pole vaulting fails just running on my screen while we talked, and I did see a few where like this one guy was trying to get over the fucking thing, and he knocked his little dick and balls on the pole. That one looked
you got to push it away. Like once you dive off, you have to also push it away because you'll land on the fucking thing.
True.
Yeah, at the very top.
Yeah, so I am a little bit worried about things like, as I said, my dick and balls and stuff like that.
Wear a fucking cup, dude.
I will never wear a cup. I see that's a sign of weakness.
What?
Sign of weakness.
You gotta wear a cup.
Nope. I'm not wearing a cup. Okay, that guy wasn't wearing a cup. I could see the outline of his hog and balls.
Cups are great, man. I love to keep all that protected as possible. I don't feel bad about it at all.
I do. I'm not gonna do it.
That's a
Have you ever pole vaulted?
No.
Okay.
No. I yes, I have. I would like to do like the discus throw and the hammer stuff. Like some of it. The javelin looks fun.
Are you like so you were like a track and field dude?
No. Tennis and chess.
Okay. Well, those are two things I could play tennis. I think I could do really good at a game of tennis.
Fuck your ankles up.
Yeah, but I mean, not really. I'll wear boots. My ankles will be supported fully.
The only thing I think crazier than trying pole vault is the sprinting. What's it called? It's not the pommel horse. It's the one where you run really hard and it's a male Olympic sport. It's a male gymnastics. Mm-hmm. And you bounce off a thing and you hit the thing and you jump. Actually, I think it's male and female both do this.
Yeah, they both.
But it's incredible. It looks terrifying. There's one video of a guy running full speed. He's athletic. He's obviously done it before, but he slips his landing. He doesn't jump correctly, and just full chest at full speed into this immovable, saddle-shaped horse gymnastic thing. And like that looks like you'd probably also get a lot of views off a video of you doing that too. But just start with high jump. High jump will be fun. You get to get that bending, the back technique. And I was also thinking go to one of those trampoline gyms. Both of you guys.
Oh, no way. My brother broke his leg at a trampoline gym, and now I'll never get on one of those things in my whole life. Yeah. That ain't never happened.
He had terrible form, though. Sorry to say, but he had the worst I told Erica earlier in the day, I was like, motherfucking Craig has never been on a trampoline before. He looks bad. He has very poor form.
Yeah.
He's breaking a lot of rules. Yeah.
Yeah. Those backyard trampolines, all I can think is just watching kids on them. Not that that's like my hobby, but you see, people in backyards and stuff. And I just think about the springs having little metal shards that are going to catch the legs and just like rip through people's legs as they fall through those gaps.
They all got
those trampolines are nuts.
No, I got one for Charlotte. They all have nets around them now. Like, you can't buy a trampoline that doesn't have a net around it anymore. I tell her all the time, I'm like, when we did trampolining, like, there was no net to protect you. You would literally just go off this fucking side a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I did as a kid.
Or through the springs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Whole fucking leg goes
horrifying.
through. Yeah.
I don't like, people just don't understand how great I am at stuff. And
I believe you, man.
I want to do shot put. I want to do hammer throw. I think, like, I fuck around with kettlebells and stuff, discus, that kind of stuff. There's a whole fucking kickball field over here. We could just stand at home base and see how far we could wing it.
I mean, there's one by my house too. I'll say this: there's a place by my house that I could. There's a place by my house that I could definitely get. I could definitely get this done. Like, I bet you I could get a hold of the school and be like, hey, will you let me pole vault? And I'm sure they'll fucking let me. I'm not even kidding.
At the school?
At the school.
And don't you have to have like a real pole? Like, you can't just go buy a dowel rod from Home Depot and just run at it. Like, you got to have a
I mean, Street Fight, here's the thing. If I was going to do it, Street Fight could buy me a pole vault.
No, we're not. That guy on Twitter is buying it. He said
or a guy on Twitter could buy me a pole vault.
He's going to do a Make-A-Wish thing, but you got to take a video of all of it, and you got to wear the singlet.
Well, I don't want to wear the singlet.
Okay. Guess you don't want a pole vault.
Okay. We'll see about it. I'll try it, I'll try anything once is what I always say.
And did the singlets work with cups? I know you're not going to wear one, but...
Yeah, I don't need a cup.
It seemed like a cup would be kind of a tight squeeze with a singlet.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I know you guys have a long queue. Yeah. Maybe I think I'll call back with I have a story about a scammer. I got someone tried to scam me, and it turns into it starts as a scammer story and becomes a police story. And I don't want to take up more time. We've already talked a bit. So
please call back with it though, because I'm curious.
This one's good. As soon as it was over, I was like, well, no, not right away, but after it ended, I was like, man, Brian and Brett, this is a story for them. I want to hear what they have to say.
And Brett's going to take your number down, and the next time you call, we'll get you in.
Yeah, I've got a note on here, so I'll get you next time first, so you don't have to wait so long.
Do you want me to? Do I just message you before, during the show?
You don't even have to. He'll see it when it's done. When it comes up. Right. Yeah.
Yep. I see. I am. No. All right. Yeah, I'll do that next week.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Take care.
Have a good night. Well, that is a good call right there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Making fun of me because I can't pole vault.
I'm thinking also, like, so Hanes started doing the ballpark underwear thing. I'm getting ads for ballpark underwear from Hanes now. Mm-hmm. What about just cup? Because now I'm like, I'd rather have just a built-in cup on my underwear. Just in case. Just some insurance. That's the kind of insurance that I want.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
Athletic supporter. I mean, they have those flexi cups, the soft cup. The hard plastic one is a pain, but like if you are playing any sort of game where you can get hit in the nuts, like you have to do it.
Okay, I'm looking something up. Yep.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is this me?
This is you.
Only
Who's
you
this?
know.
Awesome. This is Matt from Memphis again.
Oh, hey Matt, what's up?
Fortunately,
buddy.
this is not another jail story.
Good.
I was just calling in to say, like, I think I finally have a job that I won't hate and will not crush my soul inside every day. I'm actually in Wisconsin right now. Start my new job being a truck driver.
Oh, that's a job I want. Is it local or over, as they say, over the road?
It's the long haul stuff, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Because, like, the local you can make good money on too, but I just feel like I'd have a different boss nagging at me like every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
With all the stops in town, whereas the long haul stuff, I'm just sort of on my own in the cab listening to podcasts.
Damn,
You
that's
got that
genius.
white line fever.
That is actually like a really good. I mean, God damn, do you know where you're going to be driving?
Not 100% on that yet. I think from what I've read, what I've gotten from the company so far, it's looking like I'm probably driving around the Midwest, hub somewhere near out of Memphis, where I'm from, but looks like I'll be driving to from the Midwest a lot. So maybe y'all's neck of the woods even.
Hey, if you come through town, I'll hang. You maybe we'll meet up with you and hang out.
Hell yeah, dude, that'd be rad.
I mean, Brett's always free.
Oh, also.
Hey, real quick.
Also,
real quick, 1 second, Matt. Brett, they make these.
Yeah.
They make these underwear called Frida balls, Frida balls, and it's kid-proof underwear, so they can't kick you in the nuts or nothing.
I could have used that. Happened to me a lot.
Yeah,
It still does. Anytime my daughter is standing above me, both of my hands go to my crotch.
Yeah, and when I read the little piece, it said, "Hey, it also makes your hog look a little bigger." So
Okay. Well, I do that with saline injections.
oh, okay. Well, there you go. So I'm excited for you about the truck driving. What was the next thing you were gonna say?
So the next thing I was going to say is before I headed out on this road trip, where, man, like, also this is like the first time I feel like actually taken care of by a company. They got me set up in a hotel room that actually looks nice, and they're paying for it for 3 weeks and stuff.
3 weeks.
I'm surprised.
Is it a nice joint? Is it downtown or is it in the suburbs? Or I'm a hotel expert.
It is
now.
in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, that sucks.
But it is very nice.
I'm actually sad for you. I mean, I understand like that it's a nice hotel that you're staying in. It's just like whenever we got a hotel. So when we were touring, like staying downtown, even with the discount, could sometimes be really expensive. So like sometimes we would have to stay out of town, like 45 minutes, an hour away from town, or a half hour away from town. And I was always like, God, there's nothing to do here. But like staying downtown kicked ass. But I gotta tell you, you walk into a hotel and it's clean and shit. That is a good feeling. Is it a national brand?
No, it's a local.
Oh, really? Is it a boutique, maybe?
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Does it smell good? That's what I hate when you walk into
like it's clean, it's quiet. Like it almost feels like The Shining in here. Like I've like run into almost nobody the whole time I've been here since like 3 this afternoon. Yeah, it's been real cool. But oh yeah, back to the other thing I wanted to say, I guess, is before I came up here, I talked to a buddy of mine I was hanging out with, who is a pole vault coach.
Oh,
nice.
And I asked him, I mentioned I know someone who's curious if like pole vault gyms exist, and he's like, oh yeah, like there's definitely pole vault gyms in like big cities all across the country. And I was like, yeah, but what about like even in like Ohio and Columbus? And he's like, oh yeah, dude, there's definitely a pole vault gym in or around Columbus. So I looked it up, and I found this website for BuckeyePoleVaultAcademy.com.
Okay. I'm going
to be in the vicinity of Columbus for you guys.
Yeah, it's Buckeyes. We know what Buckeye is. That's inside 270.
Here it is. I found it. It is on where's it? Beard Road in Sunbury. Hey, my parents live in Sunbury. That's where Jason lives.
Okay.
So I know where it is. Okay.
One step closer.
Now we're moving closer to me pole vaulting.
So there you go.
Thank you for this. Membership. I'm seeing what a
100%.
membership is.
And then when we do tours at the end of the show, we can have everybody go outside and you'll do a pole vault and then they can clap and cheer.
I mean, we can do it during the show.
Not inside.
We could try, though.
Okay.
When we go, what? Okay, here's what we'll do with the pole vault gimmick. I'll run out on stage with the pole vault, like in my hand, with good form, like I assume I have. You know, that's what I'll do. I wonder if I need to get a girthier pole vault because of my weight.
I mean, the Academy will explain all that.
Okay, yeah, it's $280 a month to go to the Academy.
What?
Yeah, it's a monthly membership.
That's an intense. Okay.
I mean, how much it costs to go to a gym?
Like $40. Like the YMCA is
a
like
decent gym, like one of the nice gyms.
I mean, yeah. I mean the boutique ass, the stupid ass like Orange Theory and
the kind of gym I would
Pure
join.
Bar and CrossFit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
a Brian gym, as I would call it, a Brian gym.
But but they give you like a well-rounded thing for $280. You're just learning how to. Well, I guess if you want a pole vault, you gotta pay.
I mean, that's what I want to do, dude.
Yeah.
I have dreams.
This type of training you want $70 a week.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what I can work out here. Maybe we'll try to get a deal with them. You know, like, hey, I just want to pole vault once. Mind if I just come in and pole vault?
Maybe
once?
that
You
could be you
disrespected
guys'
the whole
sponsor,
fucking
then.
academy, dude.
Well,
No, it's gonna be hard. You have to train.
Nope. I'm not going to train. I'm just going to do it. People don't understand. Like, you guys, people don't get it. You know, oh, this pole vault gym looks fresh, dude. They have all kinds of stuff. I said fresh.
Damn, that shit's fat.
Damn, dude, this thing's fresh as hell, fresh to death. They have, okay. Yeah, because, like, here's the thing. Brett didn't think I could do circus, and I did circus, too. I did a whole motherfucking circus workout where I did the silks and everything. Okay, but, you know, you saw me do it. You know.
Not
I did
well.
the whole workout, and the person that was doing the training was like, you were really good for the first time. And I was like, would you say, here's what I wanted to ask, but I didn't, you know, because I was being respectful. But I wanted to be like, I mean, would you say I'm like the best first-time student you've ever had, is what I wanted to ask. And since I didn't ask that, I can only assume she would say yes. Mm-hmm. You know? That's probably the best first-time student they ever had there. I can guarantee it. I'm just good at things when I try them. You know what I mean? Physical feats of strength and courage and bravery. I'm good at them.
Nope.
So, well, Matt, thanks for calling. Keep us posted on the truck driving job. You know that's my dream job. You know that's one of my dream jobs.
I'm excited, man. Like, my dad just, like, I'd been out of work since last summer pretty much, and my dad was just kicking around, like, random bullshit for stuff I might be interested in trying. And soon as he was like, you know, you can find people who pay to be a truck driver or to train to be a truck driver.
So you did the training?
And, like, everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, that's going to be, like, perfect for you, dude.
Yeah, it's perfect for anybody.
So
how's the
just
training?
like sitting in place
all day. You also were traveling the whole country.
You don't see
the
shit.
training is going to be pretty intense for these 3 weeks. It's like 10-hour days, 6 days a week, pretty much.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
3 weeks. You get to
There's,
brag about that for the rest of your life, though.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
You get to brag about how hard
absolutely.
your job is forever. There's T-shirts about it. There's a whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
You get to slide right into.
I know. You're going to love it. You're going to love this. I just know it. It's just... I like traveling a lot, and you're going to be traveling. Now, I'm not saying you're going to see anything.
Yeah.
As Brett said, because you won't. But you'll be traveling. And that'll be something. You know, you can pull into town and fucking sleep in your sleeper cabin and maybe go to the best restaurant in town, wherever the town is.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe you'll get to drive a big truck in Chicago, which sounds like a nightmare.
Who knows what could bring you?
Yeah. Well, I hope it all, it sounds great. I really hope it all works out, and keep us posted on what it's like to be a over-the-road trucker.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for calling. Okay.
Mira Gonzalez in the chat wants to know how you feel you would do on a stripper pole the first time.
The first time?
You could like wrap your thighs around and like drop from the top to the bottom and all that?
It just kind of depends on, like, I would need somebody to train me a little bit. Probably like, give me about an hour where somebody's kind of telling me how to do this stuff, and I'll bet you I could do at least one trick.
Okay.
One trick.
Okay. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of ladies just make one trick work. Not anybody, really. All you need is one trick to get in.
I before we take the next call, I gotta say, I'm looking at the Buckeye Pole Vault gym, and there are 2 people in the picture with a mask, and then several other people without. So I don't think I'll be going to the Buckeye Pole Vault gym for a while.
Well, not until you're vaxxed.
They're anti-vaxxing over there. Or they're anti-maskers.
They practice the perfect sport that combines gymnastics and wrestling and endurance and track and field and everything.
Wrestling?
That's what it said on that thing I read the other day.
Okay. You don't wrestle a pole. Let's get this next call. We don't
okay. A good pole has to be wrestled.
Cut it out.
A good pole has to be wrestled.
Divorce guy's now a creep.
Big Johnson Pole Vaulting Club. A big pole has to be wrestled. That's what it says. All right, next one. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, Street Fight, what's up?
Hey, who's this?
Nothing.
Hey, this is Jonathan in LA.
What's up, Jonathan? How's it going?
Yeah, so real quick, the stats, pronouns he, him, vaccine Moderna.
Ooh,
that's
and,
right.
And status divorce.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, look, you're a little bit of me and you're a little bit of Brett. But you got the best part of me. You got the best part of me, the Moderna.
Maybe we can get a powerful divorced guy energy going in the chat.
Yeah. Hey, can I tell you something real quick, though?
Go for it.
I'll tell this to Brett, too. Apparently, Slate wrote an article yesterday, or came out this week, that they said Pfizer is like the top level vaccine, that like people are like, did you get Pfizer?
Yeah.
And if you didn't get Pfizer, they're shitting on you, which is like
don't believe it.
Perfect for me. Cause like I am an underdog. I'm a humble underdog that has the Moderna vaccine.
Okay.
You know, so.
Yeah, I was going.
And
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh shit! Sorry, but I wanted to say that I am also a micro hater, and I really appreciated your guest today.
Oh yeah, she was great. Good times.
So I know you're pressed for time, but my two big beefs here are I'm a researcher in materials for green technologies.
Uh-huh.
And also, didn't Mike Rowe have a thing where he was like safety third?
Yes. That is Mike Rowe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so those two things, those two things really get to me, because I've been working in like industrial and laboratory environments, you know, all my adult life, and I have been injured. I've seen people get injured, and I think safety should come first.
I've been injured a few times too, and I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to be funny or any. Well, I am trying to be funny all the time, but I didn't take safety very seriously when I was working, and I got injured a few times, and like my back is fucked up, and not too bad, you know. I don't want to come off like I'm a bad back guy, but like my back, you know, I lifted with my back. I, you know, didn't wear my hard hat and all this stuff. And like, if I could go back now, I would probably, you know, try to do all that stuff right. Because I feel like I really dodged a bullet working in the blue collar jobs, and even the fucking dishwashing jobs and shit that I had. Like I should have been safe, you know? So that safety third thing pisses me off too.
No, yeah. I run a lot of labs for my classes where we have to use like industrial strength solvents and acids and industrial equipment. And I'm responsible for everybody in that class getting out in one piece. So I'm always telling people to put the guards in place, wear your PPE, and pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Safety first, not third. I mean, if you really were gonna push safety down a notch, it can't go past second, you know? But first.
Yeah, I don't know what it would go above.
Right.
I'm trying to money.
and especially, the problem.
That's the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, but yeah, that is the bargain you have to make.
That's what Rowe wants you to put first. That's what Mike Rowe wants you to put first, the profits of your boss.
I mean, Mike Rowe really wishes that there was a machine that he could just put you in to fuel like one of the Koch brothers. Like if there was a grinder machine that maybe somebody draw this. I'm going to give you a good political cartoon. Yeah. Mike Rowe, he's holding on to
kind of machine that just extracts surplus value. That's
he's holding on to you, and then it also has like a tube that goes to an IV in one of the Koch brothers' arms, and he can just feed you in there, and it'll do that. That's what he wants to do. Okay, this article's bullshit about Moderna, Pfizer, you know, so.
It's all lies.
Yeah, it's just some person being like, I saw a bunch of people say Pfizer's better, and it's like, those people are full of shit. They don't know nothing.
No, but I also wanted to say his continued support of the fossil fuel industry is bewildering. We're looking to move away from that.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to think that like when you come out against it, you're coming out against jobs for people, which that's a really frustrating argument for somebody to make, because it is hard to be like, well, yeah, a bunch of people will not have a job anymore if we moved away from fossil fuels. But like, maybe if we created a world where everybody didn't have to have a job, or everybody didn't have to work 60 hours a week or 40 hours a week, then that wouldn't matter anymore. And we could make the changes necessary to not, as Darna says, fry the planet.
Yeah, also moving subsidies towards cleaner energy. And there is lots of jobs available. We need an incredible amount of energy. There's jobs available to make it in a better way.
I got to tell you, I deal with this exact issue every day at work. I got students coming in to my office, and they're constantly asking me, you know, what kind of area, what kind of field can I get into that isn't based on the extraction, refining, or distribution of fossil fuels. And so I try and you know, run a research program that gives students the opportunity to like get these non-petroleum related skills. And then when they go out into the marketplace for jobs, looking for jobs, there's nothing there except petrochemicals.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because of what Mike Rowe says, right?
Yeah, I mean, because he can't picture, because people like that can't picture a world.
Yeah. And I had some country ass relatives, a 19-year-old that went to college and studied fracking and graduated, and he's got a big ass truck now and a fucking hefty paycheck because he's doing fracking right now.
Yeah,
he chose the easiest.
It's tough to get around it.
He chose the easiest possible thing, and like where the money is at, like that's where people are spending it. That's where you can get paid. It's just you have to. What are you willing to give up from your ethics or moral or who you are? What do you stand for? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
I did want to say also, just what I was going to say earlier is also the divorce. You forget that like everybody gets divorced. Like half of people are divorced. So I have like 1 million new friends now. Like the amount of text message I have to keep up with is just like on another level from people that are like, hey, been there, know what it's like, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've even been getting like a few listeners sent me pictures that were like, you know, I got divorced 10 years ago, and now me and my ex-wife take vacations together with like our new partners and stuff. We have like this whole blended family that rents a big house on the beach and shit, or goes to the mountains or whatever. So there's been it's only looking better from here.
Let me also say this.
I'll tell you real quick. I'll tell you real quick my story before I go.
Sure.
I got divorced. I left my wife. I applied for tenure, and then the governor said the COVID shit's too dangerous. Everybody's got to go inside.
So now that's where.
It happened to me like right before quarantine.
Ah, okay, yeah. Well,
That's a different
you're going to
stage.
experience a whole new world when we come out of this. But I'll say this for all you
It's going to be
people.
a very different world.
Yeah, for all you people that are friends that are Brett's new divorced friends, I'm still his best friend. So there is that. And I got a wife.
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, I was just letting y'all know. Have a good night, though.
Later, fellas.
I'm territorial.
It's still a competition.
I'm very territorial. Comes to my friends. Don't you dare come and steal my other wife. I have 2 wives.
Mm-hmm.
One's a friend wife and one's a wife.
Yep, you're Polly.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight.
Ew.
Who are we talking to tonight? What's your pronouns?
This is Ryan, and I'm also one of Ryan's reply guys at Castrati. And also, on top of all that, I'm a creature that crawled up from the chat. I'm Riku. I'm everything.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, I did check my Twitter and saw that you were calling to talk about my feet. So I'm ready to go.
I'm not actually calling to talk about. I'm not actually calling to talk about your feet. Although I did want to say, Brian, I did want to say when you showed them, I typed this in the chat. I was so fucked up. Your feet look exactly like my dad's. It was crazy.
You have the feet of my father.
Well, his dad probably fucking is a person with good taste and like wears his shoes a lot. You know what I'm saying?
White Nikes, baby. White Nikes.
Oh, okay. All right.
The forces.
I don't wear those. I wear great shoes. Well,
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Let's be honest. I wear North Face shoes 99% of the time. But when I have to dress up, I put on Air Force Ones or boots or Cortez or... No, that's all the shoes I got.
shoes.
But I'm trying to get
That's
another
the whole
pair.
quiver full.
Yeah, I'm trying to get another pair soon.
Brian, I can't judge anyone for the type of shoes they wear. I'm currently wearing a pair of busted-ass Yeezys because I learned I have wide feet, and people are like, oh, these shoes are good for wide feet, and just fucking busting out of them.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's why I wear them. I buy bootleg Yeezys simply because my feet are super fucking wide, and they get pinched. The pinky toe gets fucking broken off. I have a whole foot problem because shoes are too narrow. But my foot is fucked up forever because of narrow shoes, and that's exactly why I wear them.
Yeah, I've been looking at...
Oh my... Wait. Sorry, go ahead, Brian. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I've been looking at shoes for a few months, but my feet are normal. Like, they're as normal as they get.
Foot.
Size 12, not wide. So I'm safe. I can get any shoes I want.
I have, like... I used to wear, like, size 10.5 until, like, my significant other is like, let's actually check your feet. I wear a size, like, 7.5.
Yeah.
7.5?
You have to buy... Yeah,
I'm insane. I don't know what I was doing.
No, I used to buy 13s because, like, in dress shoes, it gets so skinny towards the front. Like, I needed a lot of extra room because I can't wear fucking dress shoes because they're way too skinny in the front.
Look at you wide-feeted people.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even know.
I was subconsciously accounting for my wide feet. Holy shit.
I didn't even know there were all
But I
these
honestly-
small feet people out there. And I told Brett, like, last week that I wear the most normal shoe size. And he was like, no, you don't. And I was like, I wear a 12 or a 12.5. And he was like, yeah, that's big. And I was like, no, all my friends growing up wore 15s, 16s. So don't tell me it's big. But I think it's big now. I'm with you.
12 is...
Honestly, I think that's a good size foot, Brian. And once again, I'm not calling to shame you about your feet. They actually look incredibly normal.
I know. Believe me, I look at them all the time. I'm like, look at these normal feet.
They're super normal, Brian. Like, I can't tell you enough how normal they are. I actually looked at them, but even though I saw my dad first, I then said, wow, that's an average foot.
They look heavily irritated, though.
They don't look irritated. It's red.
That's
Just
some
like
Aquaphor.
anytime you touch your skin, anytime something touches your skin in a tight way, it gets red. That's red. Like, skin gets red.
I'm about to show you how comfortable the top of my motherfucking foot looks.
Probably, it's not red because you're all loose.
Damn,
It's normal, though. It's like when my pants, if I did my belt super tight all day and wore it around, and nobody would be against doing your belt tight. They're always like, your belt could get a little tighter, you know, because then your pants fall down and stuff.
No, they're talking about your budget. They're talking about your monthly spending. When they say tighten your belt, they're talking about your monthly spending.
Well, I took it as being a belt.
They're not like go down another hole.
Yeah. So anyway, when if your belt was tight all day, you would have a red. Your waist would be red, all the way around, and that's what's going on here. You know,
I'm constantly walking up to people and saying, "Look, you got to tighten your shoes. Like you're spending way too much on Mountain Dew and Switch games. You're doing too much.
Tighten up.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Ship up or ship out.
Tighten that shit.
So
shit up or shape out. Yeah, there you go.
So what's going on tonight?
Oh, dude, not shit. So my significant other listens to the show in the morning now because at work. I used to work with her. I don't anymore. But she listens to it and she is so good at her job and also is so on autopilot that she just tends to watch the call-in show on very low brightness at her desk.
Okay.
And so I just think it'd be funny that that I got to call in and she'll hear this and I won't tell her whenever she's gonna listen to it and she'll be she'll text me at work or something and be like, hey, why were you talking about your feet the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, Lermy's gonna also have Lermworm's gonna have the same issue. Hey, why'd you call into the show to talk about a very serious protest and talk about a guy's feet? And you know what? That's the show. You know, so that's what's gonna be. Well, let us say hi. What's your wife's name?
Her name is Alexis.
Hi, Alexis.
What's up, Alexis?
Turn that brightness up a little bit. I'm looking pretty hot tonight. We're both wearing white tonight, you know? Yeah. I don't wear white very often.
Looking fresh, looking fly.
Thank you. Well, thanks for calling in. We got to get this. We got to get these calls done. But it's good to hear from you.
Got you. Thanks. Then thank you for the follow, Brian. You rule.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for calling.
Peace.
You said my feet look good. I got to follow you.
Man, your feet look crummy,
they do.
dude.
Thanks for calling. What'd you say?
Your feet look crummy.
My feet look great. Let's get this last call in.
They make me feel irritated. Looking at your feet.
That's because you're intolerant of other people's lifestyles.
You got me. You're right. I'm intolerant, and people walking around with irritated feet.
They're not irritated.
It's unacceptable to me.
They're not
the foot
irritated.
doctor. You need to go to the foot doctor. You need to get something. You need to get a wrap. Maybe you could get some sort of wrap to put around there.
I don't need
Ace bandage your feet.
I don't need anything. My feet are not
help.
At all irritated. At all. They're in perfect condition. They feel good.
You need some tough actin tenactin on that shit.
I don't need it. I don't even have athlete's foot.
You need some sort of cream. I'm concerned.
What would the reason be for the cream?
Your wife doesn't love you because she lets you just live with them haggard ass feet like that.
They're not haggard.
You
They're
hide
in
them.
great shape.
You have to hide them from people because they're so beat up.
They're so soft. My
Them
wife.
motherfuckers look whooped, man.
Yeah, she's happy though with my feet. I'm sure she's like, man, I could have ended up with some guy with really rough feet, with the really hard feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? When you see somebody that goes around barefoot all the time and you're like, God damn,
cracked
your
ass
feet
heel.
are hard as fuck.
Just shrapnel coming off the heel.
Yeah, my wife gets soft feet.
Or
That's
them
lucky for her.
The fungus toes too. Crumbly
I don't
ass
have fungus.
Crumbly ass fungus toes.
I don't have the green toenails. I don't have none of that.
Dog,
stuff.
I think you're grumpy because your foot, man. That shit looks so raw.
If there's one thing that makes me happy,
feet.
if there's one thing that makes me happy, it's my feet. The way I wear my shoes.
Okay.
Let's get this last call in.
Okay.
Here.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yo, it's Weed Waffles. What's up, guys?
Weed
Waffles. My goodness.
Haven't heard from you in a while. What's up, dude?
Yeah, no. It's a combination of having to change my number, keeping in contact with family who are on the other side of the Canadian border, who are older, so their health is in danger, and also, random stuff. And also, Montreal has been getting weird with the racism stuff.
You're in Montreal now?
I am not. I have family there.
Ah. So what's going on with you?
I have families that basically explain how I am from Michigan and I have family there. Great uncle was in Vietnam, moved there because he got pissed off at America, pulled the John Rambo, and, had sex with a woman there, and that's how my cousin Andrew's there.
Okay.
Anyway, also he has 2 kids in Vietnam that from, getting turned slowly to still alive, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, I just want to make this quick and narrow down to 3 things. Number 1, I hate my fucking job. I will not go into it. I am just tired of the boss that got downgraded, just a basic boss, and now I have to serve under him in the mornings when I go to work. And it's pissing me off. I'm nitpicking at everything. I hate that race-banded looking motherfucker. Right. Anyway, now that I have that out of my system, I can get to the rest of it. Thank you. Somebody probably in the chat was like, did he call his boss race-banded? Yes. He looks like a poor man's Mike Pence. Now, anyway, moving on. I wanted to share a slight story from my time online because I actually got to get online and play online games with some of my relatives over on the other side of the Canadian border. But basically, I was playing Counter-Strike Geo. Favorite game of Felix. They played all the time on Chopper FYM. Actually, my screen name currently is a variation on Felix's name right now, but the reason I bring that up
Go? I thought it was Counter-Strike Go.
The full name is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, but I just call it CSGO for short.
Okay.
But to keep it short, it's late night. We're about in the same time zone. I was playing it. My name gave it away about where my political leanings are, which are more into like syndicalist left sort of style of things. Because let's be honest, unions are awesome.
Okay.
Anyway. So I was talking about, they got on me about that, some random, like, Pepe dude. I swear to God, his Avi was literally Pepe as a clown. What was I expecting?
Popular.
I just want to set this up before I say this. You ever hear something so stupid that fits within the current point of your life, but is also like, this is still idiotic on a level that it doesn't. You'll understand what I mean when I say it. So anyway, to give a little other backstory to it, I was on a YouTube stream for a show called Exposing the Manosphere, where I talked about my old Red Pill stuff and my old dude I used to write for called Into Stage.
Yes.
Well, super edited that show. And it was the whole thing where everyone was like, oh, why would it be so weird? I was high. I'm still worried about family members that are dead or dying. I need to settle my nerves, but it was a good stream. If you ever get the chance, the channel is called Exposing the Manosphere, so got that plug out of the way.
Okay.
The reason that fits into this was we were talking about, he brought up the whole labor thing of like, Amazon and the whole union rights thing going on, so on and so forth. We all have been following it, correct?
Yeah, we followed it.
Okay, so he brought this up to me. Now keep in mind, me and said guy are on different teams. This is the chat that you have like when both you and the other person are dead and the match is still going on. Okay. I am arguing with this guy about labor rights in the voice chat of a first-person shooter, so this already looks ridiculous. Now, to cut to the main point, overall, he says the reason why he's anti-labor unions, and I'm not shitting you when I say this, pretty much his argument boiled down to, if we give the labor unions more power over whatever company they're in, all that'll happen is that all the, I guess you would call them the facey women or whatever, who would otherwise marry the more white-collar striver guys who will be going up and actually bust their ass in life. They'll just stay with the dirty blue-collar workers. Yes, I got into an argument with an incel about labor rights in the middle of a game of CSGO. That is how crazy society is now, people. We have reached new levels of you know what?
Yeah, that's the world
you
these
have
days.
showed-
I mean, you know, I was talking to my mom about it. I was talking to my mom about selling things on Facebook Marketplace and how once you list something on Facebook Marketplace, you invite the general public into your world. And you will be dealing with people constantly that break all boundaries and have ideas about behavior and the way to conduct yourself that aren't in line with you at all, but you have opened the door. And before, you may have never known that these people exist, or this is what they thought of the person that was at the deli. This is the kind of conversations they were having inside their head. But now we are able to, on the regular, talk to people and engage with people that truly believe some bizarre things.
Yeah, but you gotta understand why this is just so. You know what? I'm not gonna waste much of time. I just want to sum it up like this. I've made a lot of stupid decisions when it comes towards women in my life. Nothing illegal per se, but stupid things like the old thing to do. Much like, you know, the gentleman who called earlier about, you know, the am I the asshole situation. But sometimes when you're trying to grow, you're trying to make yourself better, and you hear or see something so stupid, you're like how I think it was Brett who was talking about going vegan, was it?
No, that was me, but I'm not doing it. I was just talking shit. If I do anything, it'll be vegetarian.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you hear something so stupid that you have no choice but to be like, I can't stop improving because this is how stupid it is at where I was. Like, you go look back and you're just like, oh, it really is. It's like leaving it's like how, like, you know, how, like, PMC, white-collar media people will do shit like Hillbilly Elegy.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
It's like that, but me, with my personal growth, it's like I'm looking down and I'm like, oh, this is what I've been trying to get away from.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
You just look at it like, oh, yeah. Which kind of leads to a current thing, which I figured this would be a weird thing to ask because it's one of you. But I kind of have a date coming up on a Saturday morning for breakfast. Yeah, yeah. She's a nurse. Yeah. So, any advice?
Listen to her. That's what I would do. You always got to just listen. To have a good conversation, back and forth. Weed waffles, nurse. Weed waffles, nurse. And just really ask questions. Ask a lot of questions is what I say. That's my advice. That's what I try to do with my wife, is ask her a bunch of questions about her, what she's saying. You engage with the conversation.
Okay, final question before I get the hell out of here. What would you all say is the best example of what not to do? This includes the chat, because I can see the chat now.
What's the worst thing to do?
Have expectations.
Yeah,
I think if you
go in there and live your life. Be the best weed waffles you can be.
Yeah, enjoy your time with her that she's chosen to share with you. Have a good time without expectations. Just make it the best possible circumstances it can be, you know.
Absolutely.
Listen.
Okay, and one very last one, the final one. Do I mention to her about all the weird lefty shit I've been involved in?
I mean,
no.
If you start talking about politics, you
no,
can
not that. I'm talking like all the like different like me calling the show, for example.
No, I wouldn't say I call a podcast, but I mean that's something that can come up later. I wouldn't share stuff like that.
I mostly write for other websites. It's just me, you know, dicking around here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If it's relevant.
Yeah, if it's relevant, if it comes up, I mean,
I'm into date. I'm in the dating market. I'm not telling anybody what I do. I am dating.
Oh, you are dating.
Well, I want to entertain women and convince them
but
to.
But you just said okay. I get what you're saying.
I'm not in a relationship. No, I'm.
Yeah, you will.
No, I'm no.
I'm not going to eat a pizza ever again in my entire life. That's all I'm saying. But,
no, you have a very narrow idea because you're just wife guy too much. No, I would love to spend 4 hours with a woman and make it the time of her life, and then go home and be done, and not have anything else after that.
You badass, dude.
Right.
I like that. I like to hear that. Hey,
sure.
Weed Waffles. But we're over time. But is there anything else, buddy?
Yeah, for you dating, I will give you this advice. Do not end up like Henry Hill with Karen.
I would never do that. Karen! There's a whore in your build that part. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean.
That's not me.
Yeah, don't do that, Brett.
No, I'm honest. I'm truthful. I mean, I think you just have to be honest. Like, for me, I wouldn't worry ahead of a time about like political leanings. If anything in the conversation went in that direction, I would just be honest. Like, the thing that has only propelled me to the point that I'm at is I'm honest. Like, I agree. I tell the truth because it's way easier than lying or covering things up. Just tell the truth every time. People that can't handle being around you when you tell your truth, like, you just go somewhere else. Find the folks that don't mind hearing you being yourself and saying what you really think or who you are or sharing yourself.
It's a good point.
That's how I feel about it.
Good point, Brett.
Wonderful. Now I gotta get this game started and eventually get back to finishing this computer I am building for my niece. So,
okay, yeah, fix that. Get that computer built, Weed Waffles. We'll talk to you again. Call us back, man. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
That's a good last call. A little Weed Waffles action.
Right. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening to Street Fight. We are on the radio regularly, 2 times a week. Just please listen. I don't have anything to say. I'm just done with the show. It was a good call in. I loved it. I had a great time. And I'm ready to go home.
Me too, baby.
An awful place. My home is an awful place right now. And I have to transform it. But it's just like the imperative is looming. And it's over fucking whelming. But I will prevail. For sure. We're Street Fight.